Chapter 1863. Just as Zhang Hualan was about to refuse, the phone in her hand rang again. Don't hang up. Give me the phone. I'll talk to him. Zhang Dianhai said as he reached for the phone in his daughter's hand. Guan Xiaoxiang called once, but Zhang Hualan didn't pick up. He was a bit confused, so he waited for a while before calling again. This time, it was a male voice that answered. Guan Xiaoxiang, right? Yes. Are you Uncle Zhang? Guan Xiaoxiang was shocked to hear the man's voice and quickly asked carefully. Yes, it's me. Are you looking for Xiaolan? Zhang Dianhai asked. Yes. Yes. Is Xiaolan there? Guan Xiaoxiang asked. Good, I need to talk to you about something. Where are you now? Zhang Dianhai asked. Talk to me. Talk to me. Guan Xiaoxiang paused. Uncle Zhang, what do you want to talk to me about? What's there to talk about? You'll know when we meet. Zhang Dianhai said. It's about you and Xiaolan. Where are you? I just came out of the house. Guan Xiaoxiang said carefully. Wait for me in the lobby of the Songjiang International Hotel in half an hour. We'll talk when we meet. Zhang Dianhai didn't wait for Guan Xiaoxiang to reply and hung up. Hello. Uncle Zhang. Guan Xiaoxiang looked at his phone helplessly. It showed that the call was over. What's wrong? Yang Ming looked at Guan Xiaoxiang's troubled expression and asked with a smile. Xiaolan. My girlfriend's father is looking for me. He wants to talk to me about something. Guan Xiaoxiang said carefully. Oh. Looks like it's not the right time for me to treat you to a meal. Why don't you meet your future father-in-law first? Yang Ming asked with a smile. Brother Yang. Can you come with me? Give me some courage. I'm a bit scared. Guan Xiaoxiang hesitated. I heard from Uncle Zhang, Xiaolan's father, that there's something wrong with his tone. It seems like he doesn't approve of me and Xiaolan. Let's go then. Where is it? Yang Ming didn't mind going with Guan Xiaoxiang. He was secretly laughing at Guan Xiaoxiang's little trick. Of course, Yang Ming knew what Guan Xiaoxiang was thinking. He wanted Yang Ming to back him up at a critical moment, but he didn't want to say it out loud, so he said that he wanted Yang Ming to back him up. However, Yang Ming already had the intention of helping Guan Xiaoxiang, so he didn't care about these things. It's at the Songjiang International Hotel, the place we're going to. Guan Xiaoxiang said. That's good. We don't have to change directions. Yang Ming nodded. Little Wang parked the car in the parking lot of the Songjiang International Hotel. Originally, Yang Ming was going to let Little Wang book a private room, but because Zhang Dianhai was treating, Yang Ming was not in a hurry to book a private room. He waited in the hotel lobby with Guan Xiaoxiang. Qianhua Shui and district was one of the most luxurious districts in Songshan City. This place was known as the symbol of Songshan's power. Every house here was a duplex, and there were even independent villas. Every house started at 10 million, and villas could be sold for more than 30 million. People who could live here were either rich or noble. And this Qianhua Shui and district was known as the rich district of Songshan City. Although not all rich people lived here, those who lived here were definitely rich people. The house Zhang Dianhai lived in now was a duplex villa, so the 5 million he asked Guan Xiaoxiang to take out wasn't a lot. As the senior management of the hotel, he had an annual salary of more than 1 million. Especially now that he was the vice president of the 5-star Songjiang International Hotel, his annual salary had increased to nearly 2 million, so Zhang Dianhai had become very powerful these few days. Driving his Mercedes-Benz R300, Zhang Dianhai drove his daughter, Zhang Hualan, to the Songjiang International Hotel. President Zhang. The security guard at the entrance saw Zhang Dianhai's car and immediately saluted him. Zhang Dianhai enjoyed this feeling and nodded to the security guard. He drove the car into the parking lot and found an empty spot to park. Then he said to Zhang Hualan, "See. This is the difference between status and identity. If I wasn't the vice president here, would the security guard greet me? If you and Guan Xiaoxiang came here, the security guard probably wouldn't let you in, right? Which one of those who come here don't drive? Even those who take taxis are a minority." Zhang Hualan frowned. "I don't know, but I do know that Xiaoxiang will definitely reach higher heights in the future. If he can be like me, it's already not bad. Even higher." Zhang Dianhai laughed coldly. "I don't know if he came or not, but he was probably stopped by the security guard at the entrance. How is that possible? Xiaoxiang is also a talent, and the security guard here wouldn't look down on people." Zhang Hualan pointed at the entrance. "Dad, look, aren't there people walking here?" Zhang Dianhai snorted and led Zhang Hualan into the hotel. When they entered the hotel lobby, the receptionist at the entrance and the lobby manager ran over to greet him warmly. "Hello, Mr. Zhang." Zhang Dianhai waved his hand and looked around the lobby. He saw Guan Xiaoxiang running towards him. Zhang Dianhai naturally knew Guan Xiaoxiang. He had seen a picture of him and his daughter. "Hello, Uncle Zhang." Guan Xiaoxiang quickly greeted him. "Guan Xiaoxiang, right?" Zhang Dianhai looked at Guan Xiaoxiang and saw Yang Ming and little Wang behind him. He frowned. "These two are. They're my friends, they came with me." Guan Xiaoxiang said, "And this is, all right, no need for introductions." Zhang Dianhai didn't want to hear the names of Guan Xiaoxiang's friends. In his opinion, Guan Xiaoxiang brought them here to freeload. After all, such a luxurious hotel wasn't for poor students like them. The other reason was probably to give him courage. But no matter what the reason was, Zhang Dianhai didn't care and didn't want to know. Guan Xiaoxiang was a little embarrassed, afraid that Yang Ming would be angry. He wanted to turn around and explain, but he saw Yang Ming shake his head at him. Only then did Guan Xiaoxiang let out a sigh of relief. "Foreman Wu, give me a VIP room." Zhang Dianhai ordered the lobby manager. The lobby manager wanted to remind Zhang Dianhai that Guan Xiaoxiang's two friends weren't ordinary people. They drove an Audi A8L, but he didn't have the chance. He couldn't say that in front of them, could he? Now that Zhang Dianhai had ordered him to find a room, Foreman Wu didn't have the chance to tell Zhang Dianhai. He could only go find a room first. Foreman Wu had a record of every guest's car. As soon as the car stopped and the guest alighted, a security guard would inform him. This way, Foreman Wu could better understand the level of the guest and provide more accurate service. Chapter 1864. After getting the room, Zhang Dianhai didn't say much to Foreman Wu. He led Zhang Hualan, Guan Xiaoxiang, Yang Ming, and little Wang into the elevator. Zhang Hualan looked at Guan Xiaoxiang apologetically, but Guan Xiaoxiang gave her a reassuring smile. "Trust me, it'll be fine." "Okay." Zhang Hualan nodded. "What are you guys mumbling about?" Zhang Dianhai frowned. "Don't talk so much in the elevator. It's rude to let others see." Zhang Hualan stuck her tongue out. Guan Xiaoxiang was a little annoyed. How was talking in the elevator rude? But he was Zhang Hualan's father, so Guan Xiaoxiang couldn't say anything. The elevator stopped at the VIP floor on the top floor. Zhang Dianhai arrogantly led everyone to a large private room, pushed open the door, and took the lead to walk in. Guan Xiaoxiang looked at everything in front of him. It was just as his classmate had said. The level of luxury here was beyond his imagination. This was a place for the rich. And Zhang Hualan's father, Zhang Dianhai, was called Mr. Zhang by the people here. Could this hotel be his? Thinking of this, Guan Xiaoxiang was shocked. Zhang Hualan's family background was so powerful. Although he knew that Zhang Hualan's father was famous, he didn't know that he had such achievements. When Zhang Hualan mentioned her father, she only said a few vague words. Now, Guan Xiaoxiang felt more and more threatened. He felt that Zhang Dianhai was not here with good intentions. Little Guan, you've never been to such a high-end hotel, right? Take your friends around and take pictures. Zhang Dianhai waved his hand and said casually. Zhang Dianhai was obviously looking down on Guan Xiaoxiang. His words were sharp and full of sarcasm, but Guan Xiaoxiang had never been to such a high-end place, so he couldn't refute it. Instead, he dragged Yang Ming into this. He smiled apologetically at Yang Ming. Brother Yang, hee, it's nothing. This is also my first time coming to Songshan Songjiang International Hotel. Yang Ming smiled faintly. Yang Ming wasn't lying. It was indeed his first time coming to Songshan City's Songjiang International Hotel, but it didn't mean that he hadn't been to other Songjiang International hotels before. However, Zhang Dianhai misunderstood Yang Ming's meaning. You've borrowed little Guan's glory. You should take a look this time. I'm afraid you won't have another chance in the future. Oh, that's true. Maybe I won't come here for a few years, Yang Ming said lightly. Guan Xiaoxiang, of course, understood what Yang Ming was implying. He wanted to laugh, but he couldn't. He pursed his lips and looked at Zhang Hualan. Zhang Hualan, on the other hand, didn't know what to say, but she was curious about the friend Guan Xiaoxiang had brought. Why didn't he feel like he was being looked down upon? Couldn't he tell that his father was mocking him? What are you eating? Order whatever you want. This restaurant has everything. Zhang Dianhai waved his hand and said. Oh, then let's order a few more dishes, Yang Ming said faintly and picked up the menu. Zhang Dianhai looked at Yang Ming's casual behavior and frowned slightly. He thought to himself, you're just a friend brought by Guan Xiaoxiang. Why are you pretending to be a host? However, he didn't say anything. He was just trying to act cool. The more Yang Ming acted like he hadn't seen the world and liked to take advantage of the small things, the happier Zhang Dianhai was. Order whatever you want. Zhang Dianhai said. But if you miss this opportunity, you won't find another restaurant like this again. Xiaoxiang, since Uncle Zhang is so hospitable, let's order something expensive. Yang Ming said. That. Okay. Guan Xiaoxiang asked Yang Ming to come here to help him, so he was curious about Yang Ming's inexperience. However, he also knew that Yang Ming wouldn't hurt him. He was definitely helping him, so he didn't say anything and waited for Yang Ming's next move. Yang Ming opened the menu and specifically ordered the expensive dishes. He ordered more than 10 dishes, all of which were extremely expensive. The total cost was in the tens of thousands. This made Zhang Dianhai's face darken. Although he was the vice president of this restaurant, his annual salary was only a little over $1 million. On average, it was only 100,000 a month. After deducting his personal income tax, there was only about 80,000 left. Yang Ming ordered 40 to 50,000 yuan worth of food. It was more than half of his monthly salary. How could he not feel bad? Even if he was the vice president of this restaurant, he still had to spend money to eat. At most, he could enjoy the VIP discount of 20%. That would still cost 30 to 40,000. Zhang Dianhai's face darkened as he glared at Yang Ming. Humph, you country bumpkin who hasn't seen the world. Aren't you afraid of dying from eating? Although he complained, he couldn't stop Yang Ming from ordering. If he didn't let Yang Ming order, wouldn't it mean that he didn't want to spend money? Then he wouldn't be able to achieve his goal. The main reason he asked Guan Xiaoxiang to come today was to let him experience the life of the upper class and show him how the rich enjoyed life. He didn't have money, so he couldn't give Zhang Hualan such a life in the future. Therefore, even if Zhang Dianhai's heart was bleeding, he could only pretend to be rich. He wouldn't stop Yang Ming from ordering. At most, he would complain a little. That's all. We can't finish any more than that. Xiaoxiang, see if there's anything else you want to add, Yang Ming said casually as he passed the menu to Guan Xiaoxiang. No need, that's all. Guan Xiaoxiang naturally wouldn't be as careless as Yang Ming. He waved his hand a little embarrassedly. Okay, that's all then, Yang Ming said to the waiter. The waiter looked at Zhang Dianhai. After all, Yang Ming had ordered expensive dishes that cost tens of thousands, so he had to ask for Zhang Dianhai's opinion. Although Zhang Dianhai felt bad, he couldn't do anything about it. He had already said what he wanted. He could only wave his hand and say, that's all for now. Tell the kitchen to get it done as soon as possible. Tell them that they are my guests. Zhang Dianhai was constantly trying to show that he was in the privileged class and could be served first. Yes, Mr. Zhang. The waiter got an affirmative answer and left with the order. Zhang Dianhai, on the other hand, cleared his throat and said to Guan Xiaoxiang, Little Guan, do you know what I do? You're the general manager here. Guan Xiaoxiang could roughly guess, but he was a little confused as to why Zhang Dianhai would suddenly ask him. That's right. I'm the vice president here. Zhang Dianhai said proudly. Now you know what Xiao Lan's family does. You know the difference between you and Xiao Lan, right? Chapter 1865. Guan Xiaoxiang didn't expect Zhang Dianhai to be so direct and didn't know what to do. His face turned red and he couldn't say anything. Uncle Zhang, I know your family is very powerful now, but I'm also working hard. I'm still a student, but I believe I can achieve great results in the future and give Xiao Lan a good life. Future. Everyone knows how to say empty words. My old friends all said the same thing, but which one of them succeeded? Wasn't it just me? Zhang Dianhai snorted and said with some disdain, so what you're saying is all empty words. Then how can I prove it? Guan Xiaoxiang was still young and impulsive without Zhang Dianhai's provocation. How? That's up to you. Why are you asking me? Zhang Dianhai looked at Guan Xiaoxiang with a smile. If it was up to me, then show me how you can earn 5 million in the next 2 days. If you can't, then prove that you have the ability. If you can't, then I'm sorry, but I can't believe you. 5 million. Guan Xiaoxiang was stunned. How is that possible? I don't have a single cent of capital right now. How can I earn 5 million? Whether it's possible or not isn't something for me to worry about. That's something for you to worry about. Zhang Dianhai smiled and said condescendingly, if you need someone to teach you everything, then Xiao Lan can't expect anything from you. Look at you, you don't even know how to earn 5 million, let alone a bigger business. But, the first pot of gold is the hardest to earn. Guan Xiaoxiang retorted. And to earn 5 million in one go is like a fool's dream. How many people can earn 5 million in one go? If there are more people, what can you show off? Zhang Dianhai snorted. It's not easy to prove your ability. Is 5 million a lot? I don't care if you're scamming people or finding people to invest, but I want to see 5 million in assets within 3 days, or don't come looking for Xiao Lan in the future. It's hard for me to see your sincerity. Dad, aren't you making things difficult for Xiaoxiang? Zhang Hualan couldn't stand it anymore and said. What do you know? Zhang Dianhai interrupted his daughter. How is this making things difficult? If I don't ask him to be strict, can he become something? You can only grow in adversity. I thought Uncle Zhang's requirements were high. It turns out that it's only 5 million. Yang Ming suddenly said, "This requirement is too low. It's not considered strict." Ga. Zhang Dianhai looked at Yang Ming in bewilderment. He didn't know which side Yang Ming was speaking for. Isn't he Guan Xiaoxiang's friend? What did he mean by that? Was 5 million too little? Was it not enough to show off Guan Xiaoxiang's ability? However, since a fool had spoken, it was exactly what Zhang Dianhai wanted. It seems that I have underestimated Xiao Guan's strength. 5 million is indeed too little. 8 million then. Hearing Yang Ming speak, Guan Xiaoxiang's heart relaxed. He had been afraid that Yang Ming wouldn't care about him because Yang Ming hadn't said anything, so Guan Xiaoxiang had to fight on his own. Now that Yang Ming had said something, it meant that Yang Ming was going to intervene. Zhang Hualan didn't know who Yang Ming was, though. She thought he was a random friend that Guan Xiaoxiang had found. When she heard Yang Ming say something like that, she glared at Yang Ming angrily. Guan Xiaoxiang really didn't make a good friend. Why did he bring someone like that? He might as well not have brought someone like that. He's just a hindrance. Yang Ming pretended not to see Zhang Hualan's glare. He continued to look at Zhang Dianhai with a neutral expression. Oh, 8 million. That's too little. You're really looking down on Xiaoxiang. Ga. Zhang Dianhai was speechless. If it weren't for the fact that Yang Ming had ordered so many expensive dishes to scam him, he would have thought that Yang Ming was here to help him get rid of Guan Xiaoxiang. Xiao Guan, looks like your friend isn't that simple. He has a lot of confidence in you. Zhang Dianhai laughed. Since your friend thinks so highly of you, how about we set it at 10 million? 3 days. Let's not make it 3 days. Let's make it a week. If you can raise 10 million in a week, I'll betroth Xiaolan to you in front of everyone. How about that? 10 million. That's too little. At this moment, Yang Ming shook his head again and said disapprovingly, "And, a week? That's a long time. Isn't that a bit too long?" Ga. 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 Zhang Dianhai's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. He could accept that Yang Ming had helped him squeeze Guan Xiaoxiang in, but now he was being unreasonable. 10 million is too little. Then tell me, how much money can Xiaoxiang get? Oh, I was saying, at least 100 million. Plus, a week is too long. How about a day? 100 million a day, Yang Ming said. Let Xiaoxiang raise 100 million in a day. That's what I call awesome. Ha 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 ha. Zhang Dianhai burst out laughing after hearing Yang Ming's words. He really didn't care about the pain in his back. 100 million. How many people had 100 million? A company with 100 million in assets was rare in Songshan, let alone someone who could invest 100 million in someone else. Plus, he was investing in a nobody. This was a high-risk, low-return business. Who would do that? Yang Ming's words were like digging a grave for Guan Xiaoxiang to die. Uncle Zhang, what are you laughing at? You think 100 million is too little? Yang Ming asked. Ga. Zhang Dianhai really thought that there was something wrong with Yang Ming's head. Why couldn't he tell that he was laughing? This was mockery, naked mockery. How could Yang Ming not understand? Zhang Dianhai said proudly, if he can get 100 million in a day, not only will I let Xiaolan marry him, I'll listen to him at home. He'll be the head of our family. Oh, so it's like that. Then I'll let Xiaoxiang get 100 million for you to see, Yang Ming said calmly, but how do you prove that he got 100 million? Isn't that simple? Go to the bank and open an account in his name, then deposit 100 million for me to see. Zhang Dianhai looked at Yang Ming mockingly. Okay, that's fair. Then let's eat first. Yang Ming nodded. Zhang Dianhai was very happy. He felt that treating Yang Ming to a meal that cost tens of thousands was worth it. This person was simply his lucky star. Previously, he had posed the problem of 5 million. Although it was a little difficult, Zhang Dianhai was afraid that Guan Xiaoxiang would use his father's name to borrow 5 million to make up the numbers. If that happened, it would be difficult to handle. Chapter 1866. But Zhang Dianhai couldn't ask for too much. 5 million was already a lot. If he had asked for 8 or 10 million, it would have been too much. Just as Zhang Dianhai was worrying about how he could increase Guan Xiaoxiang's offer, Yang Ming came knocking on his door. It was rare to see such a good deal. And so, Zhang Dianhai went with the flow and came up with the impossible mission of 100 million a day. Only then would he dare to say that he would listen to Guan Xiaoxiang from now on. Zhang Dianhai didn't believe that Guan Xiaoxiang could get 100 million in a day. That was an international joke. He didn't believe that there was such a thing. Xiaoxiang, what kind of person did you find? Zhang Hualan whispered to Guan Xiaoxiang. He's not helping you, he's hurting you. It shouldn't be. If Brother Yang said so, then there should be a way. Guan Xiaoxiang believed in Yang Ming. Someone that even his father looked up to shouldn't be an unreliable person who only knew how to boast. Plus, Yang Ming's 2 cars were pretty good. He should be a big boss. But what made Guan Xiaoxiang nervous was that Yang Ming had asked for 100 million a day. This was beyond Guan Xiaoxiang's imagination. But on the other hand, Guan Xiaoxiang was also very excited. Because Yang Ming said that, it meant that he was going to invest 100 million in him. Because the money he said would not be taken back, but would be used for his own investment. With 100 million, his business would be built up quickly, and he would be able to climb to the top in the future. How could Guan Xiaoxiang not be excited? What can we do? It's 100 million. Even my family doesn't have that much money. Zhang Hualan looked at Yang Ming, annoyed. This guy is obviously here to mess things up, but Xiaoxiang is still on his side. And one day. Isn't that a joke? I don't know about that, but I don't think Brother Yang would lie to me. Guan Xiaoxiang clenched his fist. Don't worry, Xiaolan. I won't lose you. Sigh, I can only take one step at a time. Zhang Hualan lowered her voice. If there's no other way, I'll run away from home. When the time comes, we'll elope. No, I won't let you live this kind of homeless life. Guan Xiaoxiang said firmly. Trust me, trust Brother Yang, we will be happy. Definitely. Zhang Hualan saw that Guan Xiaoxiang trusted Yang Ming so much and didn't say anything else, but she didn't think much of it. No matter how she looked at it, this Yang Ming seemed like a shameless person who was deliberately trying to curry favor with her father in order to get food and drinks. Zhang Dianhai couldn't care less about what his daughter was saying to Guan Xiaoxiang. He could say whatever he wanted. After 24 hours, if Guan Xiaoxiang couldn't come up with the 100 million, then he would have to get the hell out of here. Little Guan, I think you'd better not waste your time here. Think of a way to get 100 million first. Zhang Dianhai said indifferently. You still need to eat, don't you? Otherwise, wouldn't it be a waste to order so many good dishes? I haven't eaten the dishes of the Songjiang International Hotel's chef in Songshan City yet. Yang Ming said with a smile. The reason why he ordered some of the signature dishes was to see the chef's skills. He didn't expect Jing Xiaolu and Guo Jianchao to be so successful in the hotel industry. They managed all the branches so neatly in such a short time. In fact, what Yang Ming didn't know was that the Douglas Vast Hotel itself had a perfect management system. Jing Xiaolu only needed to make some slight changes, and she could use it directly. That was why she could manage so many hotel branches so easily. One after another, all kinds of dishes were placed on the table. Yang Ming didn't hold back. He picked up his chopsticks and started eating. The taste is really good. Everyone, try it. It's delicious. Pfft. Zhang Jianhai looked at Yang Ming mockingly. Did he think that he was the host? Let everyone try it. He couldn't tell who was treating, right? However, Zhang Jianhai didn't say much because it didn't matter what Yang Ming did. His goal had been achieved. Yang Ming could do whatever he wanted. Especially when Yang Ming spoke up for him, he didn't care even more. Little Guan, you try it too. The next time you eat here will be after you get 100 million. Zhang Jianhai was clearly mocking Guan Xiaoxiang for never coming back here again. He didn't believe that Guan Xiaoxiang would be able to get 100 million. Xiaolan, you eat some too. Guan Xiaoxiang heard Yang Ming say so he picked up his chopsticks. However, he saw that Zhang Hualan hadn't eaten yet, so he said, "How can I be so generous? Can I eat?" Zhang Hualan was about to cry. Why is this Guan Xiaoxiang still acting like nothing happened? Can't he stand up and say something? Those words just now were said by Yang Ming, not Guan Xiaoxiang. It didn't represent Guan Xiaoxiang. As long as he stood up and denied it, Zhang Hualan believed that no matter how shameless her father was, he wouldn't be able to force Yang Ming's promise on Guan Xiaoxiang. Hurry up and talk to my dad. That wasn't your idea. You know that 5 million is enough. With Uncle Guan's ability, 5 million shouldn't be a problem, right? 100 million it is. I believe in Yang Ji. Guan Xiaoxiang shook his head. Why do you trust him so much? Zhang Hualan was anxious. I think he's clearly trying to harm you. He's not doing this for your own good. I can only believe in him. Because before I came here, I had an argument with my dad. My dad wouldn't give me any money, and he wouldn't let me use his name to start a company. I had a falling out with him. Guan Xiaoxiang said helplessly. But luckily I met Yang Ji, and he was willing to help me. Him? How can he help you? Can he help you get 100 million? Zhang Hualan clearly didn't believe that Yang Ming could help Guan Xiaoxiang. He can. He should be able to. Guan Xiaoxiang nodded. Sigh. I don't know what to say to you. Just trust him. When the time comes, my dad will ask you to break up with me. Don't regret it. Zhang Hualan was furious. Why is this Guan Xiaoxiang so rigid? What's wrong with eloping? Why does he have to insist on such a principle? Zhang Jianhai watched proudly as Yang Ming wolfed down the food on the table. He was even more certain that Yang Ming was here to scam him for food and drink. What he said before was just to get on his good side so that he could eat more smoothly. Thinking of this, Zhang Jianhai was even more relieved. Little Guan, you guys stop talking. Hurry up and eat. This is tens of thousands. Don't waste it. Chapter 1867. The parking lot security guard of Songshan City's Songjiang International Hotel suddenly stopped on the windshield of an Audi A8L during his routine patrol. In the windshield of the car, several passes were placed. There were Mingyang Entertainment Company Headquarters Access Pass, Mingyang Security Company Pass, Songjiang International Hotel Internal Parking Pass, Mingyang Escort Company Pass, and some special passes issued by some special departments. This made the parking lot security guard widen his eyes. He looked at the license plate number of the car, Song BK 9999. Isn't this the license plate number of Songjiang? This car has so many passes of various companies under the Mingyang Group, then the identity of the owner of this car. The security guard was shocked. Songshan City's Songjiang International Hotel belonged to the Songjiang International Hotel Group. The parent company was Mingyang Entertainment Company, Limited. The director of the car actually had the access pass of the Mingyang Entertainment Company's headquarters and the passes of various industries under the Mingyang Group. Could it be that the senior management of the group's headquarters is visiting incognito? Thinking of this possibility, the security guard was shocked. He quickly took the walkie-talkie and called the security captain. "Boss, something big happened. Come to the parking lot in front of the door, third row left. I'm 012. I'm waiting here." Security 012 shouted. "What's wrong? What happened?" "I'm going now." The security captain was shocked when he heard the tone of Security 012. "What happened?" The security captain quickly put down the work in his hand and rushed to the parking lot. He saw Security 012. "What happened? What happened?" The security captain looked all the way and didn't find anything big. Everything was fine. Only Security 012 was standing here. It didn't look like something big happened at all. "Captain, look at this car." Security 012 pointed at the Audi A8L in the parking lot and said carefully. "What's wrong with this car? Isn't it just an Audi A8L? What's so strange about it?" The security captain frowned and thought to himself, "You called me here in such a hurry just to show me this Audi A8L. Are you kidding me? Although this car is relatively rare, it's not that it doesn't exist. There are many of them in the city, and they often enter and leave the hotel. No, look at the license plate of his car." Security 012 stuttered. However, before Security 012 finished speaking, he was interrupted by the security captain with a wave of his hand. "Do you have nothing to do? You called me here just to see the license plate of this car. 9,999. What does it have? I've seen 8,888 before. What's so strange about that? Are you new here? Haven't seen the world?" "No. Boss." Security guard 012 said, feeling wronged. "What do you mean? If you continue to dawdle, I'll deduct 100 yuan from you." He was really looking for trouble. "Just keep an eye on the car. Which of the people who came here to eat wasn't rich? What's so strange about an Audi A8L with 49 license plates?" The security captain waved his hand impatiently and turned to leave. "Boss, take a closer look. The license plate of this car is from Songjiang, and inside the car." However, this time, Security 012 didn't finish and was interrupted by the security captain. "You can see the flowers if you look closely. Wasn't it normal for rich people from other places to eat here? What's so strange about it?" "That's ridiculous," the security captain said. "Boss, let me finish." Security 012 was anxious. "Okay, then tell me. I'll see what you have to say. If it's useless, then don't blame me for deducting your salary." The security captain held back his anger and said, "Okay." Security 012 nodded and said in one breath, "Boss, look inside the windshield of this car. There are so many passes. Look at the issuing organization on the pass." "Oh." The security captain looked at the pass in the car. At first glance, he was shocked. He wasn't stupid. He immediately thought of the possibility. "You mean, someone from the headquarters came? Is there any other possibility?" Security 012 was a little proud. He thought, "Didn't you say that what I said was useless? Now you're scared too, right? The owner of this car is definitely not simple, but I haven't heard of a leader from the headquarters coming down to check." The security captain looked at the car in confusion. He wanted to see some clues, but he couldn't see anything. No, I have to call President Liu immediately. President Liu was Liu Dian, the general manager of the Songjiang International Hotel in Songshan City. I just saw President Zhang's car coming. Should we inform President Zhang? Security 012 said. President Zhang came with his family. It's not good for us to disturb, right? The security captain hesitated and said, let's inform President Liu first. Let's see what President Liu says. Okay, then let's find President Liu first. Security 012 nodded. Liu Dian was sleeping in his mistress's villa when an ear-piercing phone call rang, giving him a big fright. He glanced at it. It was the security captain. If it were someone else, he would have hung up directly. Hello. Zhao. What's the matter? I'm on vacation today. Why are you calling? Although Liu Dian picked up the phone, his tone was still a little unhappy. President Liu, I have a big matter to report to you, said the security captain, Zhao. What's the big matter? Liu Dian frowned and asked. In the hotel parking lot, a car came. The owner seems to have a lot of status. President Liu, do you want to come over? The security captain said carefully. Who doesn't have status when they come to our hotel to eat? You want me to go over just for a car? Isn't this tormenting people? Just pretend I didn't see it. When Liu Dian heard this, he was a little unhappy. They didn't say anything before they came. Naturally, they didn't want me to come out. If they needed me, they would have called long ago. Who doesn't have my phone number in Songshan City? President Liu, it's not someone from Songshan City. The security captain quickly explained, this is a car from Songshan City. The license plate number is Songshan BK 9999. The security captain said. I don't care where his car is. What's wrong with a car from Songshan City? Liu Dian was a little impatient because he heard the mistress calling him over after she finished heating the bath water. Okay, that's it. I won't say any more. Wait, President Liu, listen to me. The security captain was a little anxious. He thought, why is President Liu so anxious? Why don't you wait for me to finish? But thinking about it, didn't I just treat Security 012 like this? It seems that it's not the pot calling the kettle black. Chapter 1868. Then hurry up and say it. Liu Dian was still fine as he didn't hang up the phone. President Liu, in the windshield of that car, there are a bunch of passes. Those passes are from the headquarters. The security captain was afraid that Liu Dian would hang up the phone, so he said it all in one breath. What? A bunch of passes. From the headquarters. Liu Dian was stunned. Tell me, what's going on? It's like this, President Liu, I'm right next to the car. The security captain quickly said, the passes on the car are, Mingyang Entertainment Company Headquarters Pass, Mingyang Security Company Pass, Songjiang International Hotel Internal Parking Pass, Mingyang Escort Company Pass. Huh? So many. Liu Dian was shocked. These are the headquarters of the group in Songjiang and some of the subsidiary companies of the group headquarters. Then, the identity of the owner of this car. Thinking of this, Liu Dian suddenly broke into a cold sweat. He blamed himself for hanging up the phone just now. If this phone call was really hung up, he would probably be done for. Liu Dian was originally from Songjiang City. He was originally an ordinary executive of the Songjiang International Hotel. He was just lucky that the branch hotel was bought. He was short of senior management, so he was appointed to work in Songshan City. Therefore, he had a deep understanding of Songjiang City's Mingyang Group. A person who could enter and leave all the companies related to the group was definitely not a small figure. Maybe it was a shocking figure. And this person suddenly came to Songshan City. What was his intention? Was it a private visit, or was he dissatisfied with him and wanted to investigate him? Lu Dian recalled what he did after coming to Songshan City. There was nothing out of the ordinary. He didn't take advantage of the hotel. His salary was already quite high, so he didn't need to use the hotel to earn money. After all, the management was very standard. He also understood how his boss Bao suddenly got rich, so he didn't dare to embezzle public funds. Other than having a mistress, Lu Dian couldn't find any other crime. Thinking of this, Lu Dian's heart was slightly relieved. Thinking about it carefully, since the other party blatantly drove a car with the headquarters pass, he definitely wasn't here for a secret visit. He was probably just passing by to have a meal or stay here temporarily. Thinking of this, Lu Dian felt that his opportunity to perform had come. He quickly said to the security captain, "Wait for me, I'll be right there." "Okay, I'll wait for you in the parking lot, President Lu," the security captain said. Lu Dian hung up the phone and quickly put on his clothes. The mistress had already prepared the bathwater. After waiting for a long time, she didn't see Lu Dian come over. She was a little anxious. When she returned to the bedroom to take a look, she saw Lu Dian putting on his clothes. She was stunned. "Dian, what are you doing? Why are you wearing clothes? Didn't he say he was going to take a shower? I've already prepared the bathwater for you. There's an important matter at the hotel. I have to rush over immediately," Lu Dian said as he put on his clothes faster. "What is it? Can't you wait a while before going? Good person. I've been waiting for you for a long time." The second mistress started acting coquettishly. "Stop fooling around," Lu Dian shouted sternly. "I have a serious matter that concerns my future. Someone from the headquarters is here. I have to go." "Ah." When the second mistress heard that there was an important matter, and it was related to Lu Dian's future, she didn't dare to stop him anymore. She nodded quickly and didn't say anything else. Lu Dian went out the door and quickly got in the car. He rushed to the International Hotel. In the parking lot, Lu Dian saw the security captain and quickly stopped the car beside him. "Zhao, where is the car?" "President Lu, you're here." The security captain quickly saluted Lu Dian and said, "President Lu, the car is here." "Look, oh. Is it this car?" Lu Dian got out of the car and looked at the Audi A8L that Zhao pointed at. When he saw the pass in the windshield of the car, his face suddenly changed. "It really is from the group headquarters. However, I don't know their real purpose. Yeah, I also felt that it was a serious matter, so I informed President Lu at the first moment," the security captain said quickly. "Do you know which private room the guest in the car is in?" asked Lu Dian. "I'm not sure about this, but you can ask the lobby manager," the security captain said. "After we wait for the guest to enter, we will report the guest's car model and license plate number to him so that he can respond accordingly. Then hurry up and ask," Lu Dian urged. "Yes, I will ask now." The security captain picked up the captain's phone. "Is this Foreman Wu?" "I'm Zhao from the security team." "Captain Zhao, I'm Little Wu. Please speak." Foreman Wu's voice came from the walkie-talkie. "I want to ask which private room did the passenger in the Audi A8L of Song BK9999 go to?" asked the security captain. "This. Captain Zhao, is there a problem with their car?" Foreman Wu obviously didn't realize the situation of the matter. He thought that there was a problem with the car. "Captain Zhao, I will remind you privately that this car belongs to President Zhang's guest. If there is a problem, you can deal with it at your discretion." President Zhang's guest. The security captain Zhao was stunned. "You mean, Vice President Zhang?" Lu Dian's face also changed. This Zhang Jinhai's power is quite big. He has just been appointed as the vice president, and he has a relationship with the people of the group headquarters. Does he want to replace me? Thinking of this, Lu Dian's face was even more gloomy. He grabbed Xiao's walkie-talkie. Little Wu, what's the matter? Are you saying that the people in this car are Zhang Jinhai's guests? President Lu. Foreman Wu was also stunned, but he didn't dare to ask more. He quickly replied, yes, they followed President Zhang and went to the VIP private room upstairs. Which private room? Asked Lu Dian. Number 8. Foreman Wu didn't dare to hide anything. Damn! Lu Dian cursed in his heart. Fortunately, the security captain Zhao's eyes were sharp. Otherwise, if he missed this opportunity and let Zhang Jinhai take the lead, this guy might step on his head. No, I can't be weaker than him. Thinking of this, Lu Dian quickly ran into the hotel. The security captain Zhao and the security guard 012 didn't dare to chase after him. They could only stand here and help Lu Dian watch the car. Because when Lu Dian got off, he didn't lock the car. Lu Dian ran into the hotel lobby and ignored Foreman Wu's greeting. He ran directly into the elevator and came to the floor of the VIP area. He got off the elevator and ran toward the number 8 private room. Chapter 1869. Dang dang dang. Lu Dian knocked on the door of the private room with a nervous mood. Please come in. Zhang Jinhai thought it was the waiter, so he didn't care and said directly. When Lu Dian heard Zhang Jinhai's voice, he couldn't help but feel angry. He thought, this Zhang Jinhai is really something. He got involved with the people from the group headquarters so quickly. However, he quietly opened the door and pretended that he didn't know Zhang Jinhai was there. He walked into the private room and said loudly, I am the manager of this restaurant, Lu Dian. I represent the Songjiang International Hotel to propose a toast to all the distinguished guests. Ha! When Zhang Jinhai saw Lu Dian come in, he was suddenly stunned. He didn't know what Lu Dian wanted to do. He looked at Lu Dian inexplicably. President Lu, what are you doing? This is my family coming to eat. How can there be any distinguished guests? Ah. Lu Dian was also stunned. Why is this Zhang Jinhai saying that this is a family banquet? Could it be that he has a relative who is a senior member of the group headquarters? Thinking of this possibility, Lu Dian's heart suddenly skipped a beat. Family banquet. Yeah, this is my daughter, Zhang Hualan. Zhang Jinhai introduced to Lu Dian. This is my daughter, Xiao Lan's classmate, Xiao Lan's suitor. I just happened to come and talk to this kid to see if he is qualified to be my son-in-law. Ah. Lu Dian was even more inexplicable. Did I make a mistake? There are no people from the group headquarters here at all. Listening to Zhang Jinhai's tone, it didn't seem like there were people from the group headquarters at all. If there were people from the group headquarters, then could he still talk in this tone? The other few are friends brought by this suitor. Zhang Jinhai introduced, President Lu, what can I do for you? Zhang Jinhai was also somewhat inexplicable about Lu Dian suddenly coming in to propose a toast. He didn't know what Zhang Jinhai's real purpose was. Lu Dian turned his head and glanced at the so-called friend of Zhang Jinhai's daughter's suitor. At first glance, he was shocked. Wang Lin. Sitting next to the banquet was the former security captain of the Songjiang International Hotel in Songjiang City, Wang Lin. Of course, Lu Dian knew Wang Lin. He was also the management of the Song International Hotel in Songjiang City, and he had met Wang Lin before. This Wang Lin was chosen because he was chosen by the highest person in charge of the group. He became his chauffeur and became successful. Now he had become a big figure in the group. Although he was just a chauffeur, this kind was someone who was a person who was close to the emperor. Wang Lin. Wang's. Wang Lin's was Dian was a good opportunity, it that was Dian's STT him was. T. Was. His Test. Ha. Zhang Dian's eyes widened. He looked at Lu Dian in confusion. Why did he call Guan Xiaoxiang's friend brother? Did he make a mistake? Little Wang recognized Lu Dian. But Yang Ming didn't say anything, so he didn't greet Lu Dian. Now that Lu Dian recognized him, little Wang said lightly, I'm just a chauffeur. Wherever Brother Yang goes, I'll be there. Brother Yang. Ha. Lu Dian almost fell to the ground when he heard little Wang's words. Brother Yang. Isn't that the person behind the group? It is said that the chairman, Jing Xiaolu, is his lover. Brother Yang is here. Lu Dian looked at the other young man beside little Wang who was eating at the table. Could this person be Brother Yang? Thinking of this, Lu Dian felt that it was very possible. Everyone was looking at him, but this young man could eat calmly. He must be a big shot. Hello, Brother Yang. Lu Dian carefully stood beside Yang Ming and said respectfully, I'm the manager here, Lu Dian. I'm at your service. Oh, the food here is good. It's delicious, Yang Ming said lightly. Thank you for the compliment, Brother Yang. Lu Dian was overjoyed. It seemed that Yang Ming didn't have any bad feelings for him, and even praised him. This made Lu Dian very happy. Seeing Lu Dian's flattering attitude, Zhang Dian was a little confused. He didn't know what Lu Dian was doing. What, Brother Wang and Brother Yang? What the hell is going on? Did Lu Dian know these two people? Mr. Lu, you. Zhang Dian didn't know what was going on. Of course, the most excited person was Guan Xiaoxiang. He clenched his fist, and his breathing became rapid. He looked at Yang Ming and Lu Dian excitedly. This Lu Dian was so respectful to Yang Ming. Also, listening to his tone, it seemed like he was reporting to Yang Ming. Could this hotel be? Thinking of a possibility, Guan Xiaoxiang suddenly opened his eyes wide. He couldn't believe his guess. But the truth should be as he guessed. This hotel was Yang Ming's. This hotel was originally a chain from Songjiang, and Yang Ming was also from Songjiang. Plus, Lu Dian, the hotel manager, was so respectful to Yang Ming's driver. One could imagine the reason behind this. Zhang Dian, what's wrong with you? Is this how you treat the higher-ups of the group? Lu Dian looked at Zhang Dian seriously. Aren't you tarnishing the hotel's reputation? Higher UPS of the group. What do you mean? Zhang Dian was a little confused. This is Brother Yang. Lu Dian really didn't know how to introduce Yang Ming at this moment because Yang Ming didn't have any shares in the Ming Yang group now, and he didn't hold any positions. However, Lu Dian had a countermeasure. Brother Yang is the investor of the Ming Yang group. President Jing is Brother Yang's girlfriend. Ha! Zhang Dian opened his mouth in disbelief like a big toad. He naturally knew who Jing Xiaolu was, but she was someone he couldn't reach. At this time, when he heard that the young man in front of him was the investor of the group and also Jing Xiaolu's boyfriend, he was a little stunned. How is this possible? Isn't he Guan Xiaoxiang's friend? Isn't he here to freeload? How did he become the investor of the group? What kind of awesome identity is this? How can he be with Guan Xiaoxiang? Chapter 1870. But Zhang Dianhai didn't suspect that Lu Dian was lying. Because Lu Dian came from Songjiang, he knew a lot more than Zhang Dianhai, and since Lu Dian said so, he couldn't be lying. Suddenly, Zhang Dianhai's face turned red and white, he was embarrassed beyond words. Before this, He kept mocking Yang Ming, saying that he was a country bumpkin who hadn't seen the world. But in a flash, he became his boss. It should be his boss's 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 boss. Yang. Brother Yang. Although Zhang Dianhai felt that calling a young man about the same age as his daughter brother was a bit awkward, he had to do it now. This job was not easy to come by. Although it was the headhunting company that had poached him, in fact, it was a facade that Zhang Dianhai had colluded with the headhunting company. He had only taken a fancy to the high technology here and wanted to work here. So, he didn't want to lose this job, so the only way was to lower his head to Yang Ming. Yang Ming originally planned to transfer 100 million to Guan Xiaoxiang after the meal to shock Zhang Dianhai and give Guan Xiaoxiang some face. But he didn't expect Lu Dian to suddenly come and interfere. But Yang Ming didn't mind too much. After all, with Lu Dian here, Yang Ming didn't have to do those troublesome things. Uncle Zhang, my current identity is just Guan Xiaoxiang's friend. Yang Ming looked at Zhang Dianhai and said lightly. Zhang Dianhai hated himself. He really looked down on people. But he didn't realize that there was a god sitting here. No wonder Guan Xiaoxiang dared to come, and no wonder Yang Ming dared to say that Guan Xiaoxiang could get 100 million investment. 100 million with Yang Ming's identity. Wasn't it just a matter of a sentence? He actually doubted and mocked Guan Xiaoxiang for not being able to get it. He was asking for humiliation. Of course, asking for humiliation was a small matter. As long as Yang Ming didn't hate him, he was already good enough. But now, what did Yang Ming mean? Did he hate her, or did he not take this matter to heart? Brother Yang. I'm sorry, I didn't know you and little Guan were friends. Otherwise, I wouldn't have tried to break them up. I don't even have time to climb up the social ladder, why would I break them up? Zhang Dianhai didn't care what Yang Ming meant, and decided to reflect on himself first. No matter what Yang Ming meant, self-reflection was never wrong. Zhang Hualan's eyes widened. He stared in disbelief at his father, who had always been high and mighty, lowering his head to Guan Xiaoxiang's friend. What was going on? Zhang Hualan didn't know Yang Ming's identity. She really didn't understand her father's actions. However, she knew that from now on, her father would no longer object to her relationship with Guan Xiaoxiang. Because her father was right, it was too late to climb up the social ladder. Could it be that Guan Xiaoxiang's friend had some sort of super identity? It's nothing. As Zhang Hualan's father, you naturally want your daughter to find a good home. Yang Ming said calmly. But your way of doing things is a bit extreme. No one is born to be successful. Life is full of opportunities. Who knows when you'll succeed? Brother Yang is right, I'll remember that. Zhang Dianhai said quickly. 100 million, to be honest, is a bit too little. Yang Ming shrugged. I'm going to personally guide Guan Xiaoxiang. I think his future achievements won't be limited to this 100 million. Your request is still too little. Zhang Dianhai's face turned red and white. He was very embarrassed and thought to himself, if I knew Guan Xiaoxiang was going to work for you, even if my daughter didn't agree, I would have forced her to marry him. I wouldn't have had to put on this show. Brother Yang is right, I'll remember that. Zhang Dianhai could only admit his mistake. At this time, even Lu Dian was a bit dumbfounded. He finally understood that Yang Ming was here to stand up for Guan Xiaoxiang, and this Guan Xiaoxiang was the future son-in-law that Zhang Dianhai wanted to make things difficult for. Thinking of this, Lu Dian couldn't help but find it a bit funny. This Zhang Dianhai was smart all his life, but this time he was stupid. Brother Yang was going to stand up for himself, how could he be a person with a small achievement? Lu Dian, right? You sit down and eat with us. Yang Ming waved at Lu Dian. You can tell me about the hotel. Okay, Okay. Lu Dian quickly sat down next to little Wang. Zhang Dianhai, who was originally sitting at the head of the table, didn't dare to sit now. He quickly walked over and sat next to Lu Dian. Lu Dian and Zhang Dianhai told Yang Ming about the hotel situation. Yang Ming just casually understood. He nodded and stood up. Okay, the development here is good. I'm very satisfied. Little Wang, go back and tell Xiaolu about them. Okay, Brother Yang. Little Wang nodded and took out his phone to record. Thank you, Brother Yang. Lu Dian and Zhang Dianhai were suddenly happy and quickly thanked him. Vice President Zhang, Xiao Xiang and Xiao Lan will go with me later. Is there a problem? Yang Ming called Zhang Dianhai's position this time, so there was a hint of a commanding tone in his words. If Zhang Dianhai didn't agree, then he didn't know how to appreciate favors. Of course, Zhang Dianhai couldn't wait for Xiao Lan and Xiao Xiang to go with Yang Ming. This was simply endless benefits for him. In the future, with his daughter and Xiao Xiang's relationship, his family would be able to soar. Waving his hand, he signaled Lu Dian and Zhang Dianhai not to send him off. Yang Ming only left the hotel with little Wang, Guan Xiaoxiang, and Zhang Hualan and went to the parking lot. Xiaolan, look, I told you that Brother Yang would be no problem. See now. Uncle Zhang finally approved of us being together. Guan Xiaoxiang said excitedly. Brother Yang, thank you. Zhang Hualan wasn't as excited as Guan Xiaoxiang. Instead, she first came to thank Yang Ming. It's nothing. This is what I promised Xiao Xiang. Yang Ming smiled. Let's go. Let's find a quiet place and talk about your future development. Brother Yang, you are too kind. I, Guan Xiaoxiang, will follow you for the rest of my life. Guan Xiaoxiang was a little excited. You can't abandon me, right? Hee, I won't. Yang Ming smiled. Boss, when Xiaolan and I have a child in the future, how about we let him acknowledge you as his godfather? Guan Xiaoxiang said eagerly. Then arrange a marriage for our child? Yang Ming was a little speechless. Aren't you thinking a little too far? Chapter 1871. It's not that far away. Xiaolan and I will get married after we graduate next year, and we'll have kids next year. Then we can get married before we're even born. Guan Xiaoxiang was too excited today. He had never felt so proud before, so his words were a little jumpy. Then you won't be able to make it in time. I still have to wait a few years. Yang Ming was a little speechless. You're thinking too far ahead, hee. Then boss, do you have any nephews that are that old? You can introduce them to my future baby. Guan Xiaoxiang was too agitated today, so all he could say was a bunch of nonsense. Not at the moment. If I do, I'll introduce them to you. Yang Ming said helplessly. That's great. Then boss, we'll be in-laws from now on. You'll have to help me. Guan Xiaoxiang was not stupid. Although he was a little inflexible, he knew that as long as he followed Yang Ming's footsteps, he would definitely achieve something in the future. Zhang Hualan, on the other hand, blushed. She was still an unmarried girl, and Guan Xiaoxiang had already planned for a child. This made her very embarrassed. She glared at Guan Xiaoxiang and pouted. What are you saying? Who's in such a hurry to have a child? Of course it's you. Your dad already agreed. What's there to be afraid of? Guan Xiaoxiang said matter-of-factly. Then I won't have one. I haven't even started my career yet. If I have a child, it'll be a waste of time. Zhang Hualan shook her head. Can't you be a little more serious? How am I not serious? Don't you have boss to help you with your career? Don't you believe in boss's ability? Guan Xiaoxiang trusted Yang Ming a lot. When Yang Ming said that he could succeed, Guan Xiaoxiang was inexplicably filled with confidence. But you can't just rely on Brother Yang for everything. Zhang Hualan glared at Guan Xiaoxiang. Why was this person like this? He was helping you, but you didn't care about anything yourself. Plus, even if he helped you, he couldn't help you everywhere. You had to work hard. No, I'm just confident. Guan Xiaoxiang scratched his head, embarrassed. Okay, Xiaolan, since I've decided to help Xiaoxiang, then he won't have any problems in the future. Yang Ming smiled. You can marry him and bear a child. Zhang Hualan listened to Yang Ming and was a little embarrassed. She nodded shyly, but she was very grateful to Yang Ming in her heart. She didn't know why Yang Ming was helping Guan Xiaoxiang. She had only seen Yang Ming once at Guan Xuemin's house. She didn't even know what Yang Ming did. Today was the second time Zhang Hualan had seen Yang Ming, and she hadn't heard Guan Xiaoxiang mention anything about Yang Ming. Why was Yang Ming suddenly supporting Guan Xiaoxiang today? Judging from Guan Xiaoxiang's embarrassment and nervousness when he was scolded by his father, Guan Xiaoxiang definitely didn't know about Yang Ming's background. He wasn't sure if Yang Ming would be able to help him. In that case, this matter was rather strange. Zhang Hualan couldn't help but ask, Brother Yang, why are you helping Xiaoxiang? Didn't he say? We're in-laws. Yang Ming smiled. What? What kind of reason is that? Zhang Hualan was stunned. Yang Ming shrugged. Maybe it's fate. Of course, Yang Ming couldn't tell her the real reason. He didn't want to. Back then, he had only given Guan Xiaoxiang a little something in return because Guan Xueming had spared no effort in helping Shen Yuxi. If Yang Ming had given Guan Xueming a sum of money, Guan Xueming definitely wouldn't have accepted it. With Guan Xueming's personality, he wouldn't have accepted the money. If he had accepted it, Guan Xiaoxiang wouldn't have been unable to fork out 5 million. Therefore, Yang Ming repaid Guan Xueming in other ways. Of course, even if Guan Xueming knew about it, he would not interfere. After all, this was Yang Ming's idea. He couldn't stop him. That was one of the reasons. Secondly, Yang Ming also wanted to help the people around him before he went to Yunnan. At least, Yang Ming had found a way out for Bao Sanli and the others. As for these new acquaintances, he naturally wanted to help if he could. Thirdly, Yang Ming felt that Guan Xiaoxiang was more to his liking. Seeing Guan Xiaoxiang in a difficult situation, Yang Ming even thought of himself in the past. When he was with Suya, what was the difference between the face of Suya's father, Su Haikua, and the current Zhang Dianhai? So this was why Yang Ming wanted to help Guan Xiaoxiang. So it's like this. Zhang Hualan knew that Yang Ming might not be telling the truth, but if Yang Ming didn't say it, she couldn't keep asking. She could only give up. Boss said we hit it off. It seems that this in-law is really a couple. Guan Xiaoxiang was also very excited. Yang Ming was someone that even his father admired. Moreover, his father knew Yang Ming's godfather, so Guan Xiaoxiang naturally didn't think that Yang Ming would lie to him. Boss, you can't refuse to recognize me as your in-law in the future. Of course not. But when I have a child, that will be a long time. Yang Ming saw that Guan Xiaoxiang was so enthusiastic and suddenly had a plan. Yang Ming suddenly thought of the marriage that Fang Tian had arranged for him. Yang Ming was still brooding about it at that time. He didn't expect that he would have such an opportunity. If he arranged a marriage for his future disciple in advance, would he be as resistant as me at that time? Thinking of this, Yang Ming suddenly felt a little funny. Was Fang Tian like this in the past? It seems like it. He and Wang Ruoshui were arranged. So he was unhappy and arranged for him. Naturally, he also had to arrange for his disciple. It would be a waste not to exercise this right. Yang Ming even thought of the wonderful expression of his future disciple, haha. Yang Ming realized that he was a little bit evil now. He actually thought of scheming for something so far away. Then what should I do? Guan Xiaoxiang asked bitterly. But I want to accept a disciple in the near future. It's possible to be in-laws with you. Yang Ming was referring to the fact that after returning from Yunnan, he would probably retire from the world of martial arts. However, the title of the King of Assassins would continue to be passed down, so Yang Ming had to think about accepting a disciple. Since Guan Xiaoxiang was so enthusiastic, it was not impossible for him to decide his disciple's marriage on his own. Although Yang Ming didn't know where his disciple was, wasn't his marriage arranged by Fang Tian before he met him? So Yang Ming played a dirty trick. Chapter 1872. Disciple. Sure, disciple works too. Guan Xiaoxiang knew that Yang Ming wasn't going to have a child for the time being, so having a disciple like Yang Ming wasn't a bad idea. But he still asked curiously, "Boss, what do you want a disciple to learn from you?" "Everything. I'll teach him whatever I know, like martial arts." Yang Ming wouldn't tell Guan Xiaoxiang about the assassin business. The time wasn't right yet. Although Yang Ming found Guan Xiaoxiang to be quite agreeable, something as important as this wasn't something that Yang Ming would tell him until the very last moment. Martial arts. Boss, you know martial arts? Guan Xiaoxiang asked in surprise. A little. Yang Ming smiled, then pointed to a small advertisement on a telephone pole not far away and said, "Look at that telephone pole." As Yang Ming spoke, he picked up a small pebble from the ground and threw it over. With a "pa" sound, the small stone hit the telephone pole and then bounced to the side. Guan Xiaoxiang's eyes widened. Although he couldn't see if Yang Ming had hit the advertisement, it was already amazing that the pebble could hit the telephone pole from such a distance, let alone hit the advertisement. "Boss, is this real?" Guan Xiaoxiang quickly ran over and glanced at the small advertisement on the pole. He was so shocked that he couldn't speak. He pointed at the small advertisement with his mouth wide open. "Xiaoxiang, what's wrong?" Zhang Lan couldn't stand it anymore. What's with Guan Xiaoxiang's expression? He looks like he's scared. "Xiao Lan, look at this." Guan Xiaoxiang pointed at the small advertisement on the telephone pole. Zhang Hualan walked over and saw the advertisement on the telephone pole. Suddenly, her small face turned red. "You, what nonsense are you looking at?" "Ha!" Guan Xiaoxiang paused before realizing what Zhang Hualan meant. The advertisement was a cure for STD, infertility advertisement. Guan Xiaoxiang hadn't noticed it before, but after Zhang Hualan's reminder, he realized the problem. Embarrassed, he said, "Zhang Hualan, I'm not talking about the advertisement. I'm talking about the marks on the advertisement. Look here." Guan Xiaoxiang pointed at the middle of the ad for Zhang Hualan to see. "Ah!" When Zhang Hualan saw it, she suddenly exclaimed because in the middle of the small advertisement, there was a round mark. It was made by a stone. It was right in the middle, not a single bit off. So accurate. Zhang Hualan asked in surprise. "Yeah, now you know why I was so surprised, right?" Guan Xiaoxiang said. "I didn't expect the boss to have such a trick up his sleeve." Zhang Hualan nodded because she was equally surprised. Previously, she felt that it was strange for her child to marry Yang Ming's disciple, but now it seemed that Yang Ming's disciple was definitely not an ordinary person. How could an ordinary person enter Yang Ming's eyes? "Okay, don't be surprised. It's just a small trick." Yang Ming smiled faintly. If this was considered a small trick, then Guan Xiaoxiang really didn't know what a big trick was. Boss, are you one of those legendary martial arts masters? You can think of it that way. Yang Ming said. I've already told your father about my identity. If you want to know, you can ask him. Oh. Guan Xiaoxiang was stunned. Boss, what is your identity? Tell me. You know my dad. He's very old-fashioned. If I ask him, I probably won't get anything out of him. Okay, then I'll tell you. Yang Ming nodded. Anyway, he was going to leave after a while. When Guan Xiaoxiang couldn't find him, he would definitely ask Bao Sanli or Guan Xuemin. At that time, he would know. Boss, you really have a special identity. Guan Xiaoxiang was shocked. My identity is actually a special agent. Yang Ming said. But don't tell anyone. Ah. Special agent. Guan Xiaoxiang's eyes widened. Boss, you're a special agent. Yeah, I'm going to do a mission in a while, so you won't be able to see me for a long time. Yang Ming said. That's why I'm telling you. But don't tell anyone. Don't worry, I won't say anything. I definitely won't. Guan Xiaoxiang shook his head. I'm not someone who spouts nonsense. Although Guan Xiaoxiang was shocked, he didn't doubt Yang Ming's words. If Yang Ming hadn't shown such a skill, perhaps Guan Xiaoxiang would have some doubts. But now, Guan Xiaoxiang was only shocked. Yang Ming could hit a small stone so accurately. It was only natural that he was a special agent. Let's find a place to talk about your business plan. Yang Ming smiled. I'm going to invest 100 million in you, but you can tell me what you want to do. I won't interfere. Of course I'll tell you. Guan Xiaoxiang nodded and went with Yang Ming to a roadside cafe. He was going to tell Yang Ming the details of his plan. In fact, he already had the idea of opening a hospital in his mind. At the time, he just wanted to use Guan Xueming's name to make a name for himself in the early stages. He didn't have the money in the early stages, and couldn't even afford to advertise. He could only rely on Guan Xueming's name to sustain himself. But now, with Yang Ming's investment, he didn't need to rely on Guan Xueming's name anymore. He could use this money to open a super large private hospital. Whether it was the size of the building or the medical facilities, it was more than enough. He could even hire some retired specialists. It wouldn't take long for the hospital's name to spread. Therefore, after Guan Xiaoxiang sat down, he began to talk. Brother Yang, my initial idea is to buy an office building. It can be an abandoned school or research center, and then renovate it. After that, we can hire some retired specialists from big hospitals. In the early stages, we can specialize in a few subjects. After that, we can buy all the medical equipment for those subjects. 100 million is not a lot, but it's not a lot. It's definitely not enough to buy all the medical equipment. So, we just need to specialize in a few subjects. Yang Ming nodded. Although he didn't know much about hospital management, there weren't many problems with Guan Xiaoxiang's plan. Your idea is not bad. It's very feasible. Really? It's really not bad. Is it feasible? Guan Xiaoxiang was very excited to be praised by Yang Ming. Boss, you still believe in me. My dad said I'm just an armchair strategist. He doesn't believe me at all. He said I only know how to dream, and it's not realistic at all. Chapter 1873. Don't blame Uncle Guan. He's just worried that if you use his name, not only will it hurt you, but it'll also hurt him. Yang Ming smiled and waved his hand. It's because you don't have money, and Uncle Guan doesn't have that much either. There's no way he can let you run a hospital, so the most you can do is open a small clinic. That's why Uncle Guan didn't want you to use his name. Think about it, a small clinic with Uncle Guan's name. Wouldn't it be weird? Boss, you have a point. Guan Xiaoxiang nodded. But he's my dad. Can't he trust his own son? Even though Guan Xiaoxiang had gotten Yang Ming's help, he still held a grudge against Guan Shuamin's actions. It's not Uncle Guan's fault. That big brother of yours. Yang Ming had heard from Guan Shuamin that Guan Xiaoxiang's big brother, Guan Dian, was a scammer who used Guan Shuamin's name to do a lot of bad things. That was why Guan Shuamin was so concerned about Guan Xiaoxiang using his name. That big brother of mine was really lucky. He used my dad's name to make a lot of money, but my dad kicked him out of the house. He doesn't even come home anymore. Guan Xiaoxiang said. You're jealous of someone like that? Yang Ming was a bit speechless. He was kicked out of the house. Do you want that too? That's not it. I'm not using my dad's name to scam people. I just want to get a bit of fame. I won't scam people. Guan Xiaoxiang shook his head. You don't have Uncle Guan in your clinic, but you're using Uncle Guan's name to open a clinic. If that's not scamming people, then what is? Yang Ming shook his head and glared at Guan Xiaoxiang. You don't have the money in the beginning. You can't even hire a specialist, so you can only hire normal, inexperienced doctors. If something goes wrong, not only will it hurt you, it will hurt the patients who trust your dad's name, and it will also hurt your dad. Have you ever thought of such a serious consequence? I really haven't thought about it. Guan Xiaoxiang was taken aback. But I don't plan to treat those difficult illnesses in the beginning. I only plan to treat some minor ailments like colds and headaches. Some illnesses that look like a cold could be pneumonia. If you misdiagnose them, it'll be even more troublesome. Yang Ming didn't know much about medicine, but he still had some common sense. Guan Xiaoxiang lowered his head. I'm sorry, boss. I was too impulsive. Alright, now that you've taken the investment I've given you, you can be considered to have the capital. If you hire some experienced experts, these problems won't occur. Yang Ming said, I'm just reminding you. Even if you have money, don't rush for instant success. You have to take it one step at a time. Don't make the same mistake as your brother. Boss, Guan Xiaoxiang, will remember your words today. Guan Xiaoxiang patted his chest. I know you're doing this for my own good. Don't worry, I won't do anything out of line in this lifetime. Actually Uncle Guan and I have the same idea. It's just that he can't give you the money, so he's a little more strict. Yang Ming smiled. I hope you won't hold a grudge against him. Boss, don't worry about that. Guan Xiaoxiang was a little embarrassed. Of course I'll be upset, but I won't hold a grudge. After all, he's my father. It's normal for him to care about his reputation. As for whether or not Guan Xiaoxiang was upset, or if he would throw a tantrum, that wasn't something Yang Ming could control. As long as Guan Xiaoxiang didn't hold a grudge against his father, then Yang Ming's goal had been achieved. I'm happy that you can think this through. Yang Ming nodded. Do well, and you'll definitely succeed. Come back to Songjiang with me later. I'll introduce you to some famous people in society. They'll be of great help to your future career. Thank you, boss. Guan Xiaoxiang, of course, knew how important connections were in doing business. If all the people he knew in a city were famous people, then they would subconsciously become his assistants. So when Yang Ming said that, Guan Xiaoxiang was very excited. What are you thanking me for? You're calling me boss. How can I not help you? Yang Ming waved his hand. Right, boss, you're investing in me. How are we going to split the shares of the hospital I'm setting up? Guan Xiaoxiang had been thinking about this question before. He was too embarrassed to bring it up, but he didn't. This was a very important question, and he had to figure it out first. Split the shares. The money is for you. I don't want the shares. You can manage it yourself. Yang Ming waved his hand and smiled. Yang Ming was going to Yunnan, and he wasn't even sure if he could come back. What was the use of the shares? What's more, 100 million yuan was like a drop in the ocean for the current Yang Ming. It was nothing at all, so Yang Ming didn't think about asking for any shares. Yang Ming wasn't short of money at all. How can that be? You're an investor. Of course you have to have the shares. Otherwise, how can I take the money with peace of mind? Guan Xiaoxiang heard Yang Ming's words and immediately panicked. I said it's for you, so it's for you, Yang Ming said. No, boss. If you don't want the shares, then I definitely can't take the money. If I take it, then I'll be freeloading. Guan Xiaoxiang shook his head like a rattle drum and refused directly. You are similar to Uncle Guan. You are more principled. Yang Ming smiled. Since you must give it to your future son-in-law, then give it to him. Yang Ming smiled. Since you must give it to him, then give it to your future son-in-law. My future son-in-law. Guan Xiaoxiang was stunned. My disciple, Yang Ming smiled. My disciple must be a man, so you're looking forward to having a daughter. So it's like that. Guan Xiaoxiang felt that the shares were the same as giving him the same thing. My son-in-law is also my daughter's. What's the difference between not giving it to Yang Ming? Just treat it as a dowry from me as her godfather, Yang Ming smiled. If you still don't agree, then I can't do anything. Okay. Guan Xiaoxiang nodded. Then let's sign a contract. Why do we need to sign a contract? I believe in you. Yang Ming said with a smile, when that day comes, you can just give it to him. This. Okay. Guan Xiaoxiang nodded. 60%. 60% of the company's shares belongs to your disciple. I'll take it out and won't use it no matter what. Chapter 1874. Hee, do as you wish. Yang Ming also knew that no matter what he said, Guan Xiaoxiang wouldn't accept it, so it was better to let him do as he wished. Anyway, he was just a disciple that didn't exist. He didn't know when that disciple would appear. Guan Xiaoxiang might not be able to give out the 60% of shares. Okay, I will make a contract when I go back. I will definitely not touch these shares. If I touch them, I am not worthy of being a human. Guan Xiaoxiang swore, let Xiao Lan supervise me. Hee, you don't have to make it so serious. Yang Ming smiled. I will supervise him. Zhang Hualan also valued this. Yang Ming could be said to be the matchmaker of the two of them. Without him, how could her father agree to the two of them being together? Now that Yang Ming had given them such a great help, Zhang Hualan was very grateful. At the same time, she swore in her heart that she would repay Yang Ming one day. Therefore, she also valued the oath that Guan Xiaoxiang said and immediately expressed that she would supervise Guan Xiaoxiang. Seeing that Guan Xiaoxiang and Zhang Hualan were so formal, Yang Ming couldn't say anything. He nodded, okay, then it's settled. Later, you will go back to Songjiang with me. I will let someone transfer the money to you. As for the hospital location, you can discuss it with Bao Sonli. The hospital will be under the Ming Yang Group first. When it becomes bigger, you can go independent at any time. No need, just under the boss. Anyway, 60% of the shares will always be yours. Guan Xiaoxiang said solemnly. It was also because of Guan Xiaoxiang's oath today that in the several restructuring of the hospital, no matter how many times the shareholders changed and how many branches were established, the 60% shares were always untouched. Everyone else thought that Guan Xiaoxiang was afraid of losing control of the hospital, so he purposely kept the 60% shares as an excuse. But only Guan Xiaoxiang and Zhang Hualan knew that the shares didn't actually belong to them, but were kept for someone else. However, these words could not be said to others. Even their future daughter did not know the truth of the matter. Many years later, Guan Xiaoxiang had been looking forward to his boss, Yang Ming, returning to Songjiang. He wanted to sit with him and his wife, Xiaolan, in this cafe and reminisce about the past. However, after Yang Ming retired from the underworld, there was no news of him again. Disappointed, Guan Xiaoxiang placed his hopes on Yang Ming's disciple. But where would he find Yang Ming's disciple in this sea of people? He didn't even know his name. He couldn't just randomly grab someone and ask if they were Yang Ming's disciple, right? The successful and famous Guan Xiaoxiang would sometimes reminisce about the days many years ago. That summer, when Yang Ming first came to visit and met him and Xiaolan for the first time, as well as sister-in-law Yushi, who was once his father's goddaughter. Also, at the Songjiang International Hotel, Yang Ming's appearance reversed the awkward situation between Guan Xiaoxiang and Zhang Hualan, and made Zhang Dianhai agree to their matter. Although Zhang Dianhai also borrowed a lot of credit, Guan Xiaoxiang was very regretful that he didn't see Yang Ming again after that. Although the feeling of holding on to shares but not being able to give them away was strange, Guan Xiaoxiang truly felt that way. Until his daughter grew up day by day, and after graduation, she went to the hospital he invested in to become a nurse. Yang Ming didn't appear, and neither did Yang Ming's disciple. Guan Xiaoxiang sometimes even wondered if Yang Ming was just joking and lying to him. However, he comforted himself that Yang Ming wouldn't lie to him. So he firmly believed that one day, he would definitely be able to meet Yang Ming again and become real relatives with him. In the afternoon, little Wang drove Yang Ming, Guan Xiaoxiang, and Zhang Hualan back to Songjiang City, and then introduced them to Bao Sanli. After Bao Sanli listened to Yang Ming's intention, he nodded and prepared to start researching the hospital for Guan Xiaoxiang. Yang Ming went to Jing Xiaolu's office. In addition to not seeing Jing Xiaolu for a long time and missing her, he also wanted to talk to her about the Liu family in Jiangyan City. The news of Yang Ming coming to the group headquarters was not known to many people. Besides Bao Sanli, it was probably little Wang. However, Bao Sanli wouldn't take the initiative to say it, and little Wang wouldn't simply say it. Yang Ming knocked on the door of Jing Xiaolu's office with a bouquet of flowers. After a while, Jing Xiaolu's capable voice came from inside, "Please come in." Yang Ming pushed open the door of the office and deliberately covered his face with flowers. Then he said in a fake voice, "Miss Jing, hello. I have admired you for a long time." Jing Xiaolu thought it was a colleague of the company, but after listening to a few words, she found that something was wrong. She looked up and saw a man standing in front of her with flowers in his hand. She was suddenly shocked and pulled a long face. "Who are you? How did you come in?" "Miss Jing, I am your admirer." Yang Ming said very affectionately, "I am the heir of XX Group. Miss Jing, please give me a chance." "Are you crazy?" Although Jing Xiaolu had been a lot more civilized under Yang Ming's urging, and she also had the demeanor of a company's chairman, Jing Xiaolu was still a little angry in the face of such an inexplicable suitor. What does this person mean by coming to my office to give flowers? The Mingyang Security Company was very famous, but they let a mentally ill person into the group headquarters. How could Jing Xiaolu not be angry? "Miss Jing, I love you. Please accept my pursuit." As Yang Ming said, he reached out and hugged Jing Xiaolu. "Fuck. You want to take advantage of me? I will kick you to death." Jing Xiaolu was furious. Except for Yang Ming, who dared to touch her like this. Jing Xiaolu saw that the man in front of her actually dared to hug her, and she suddenly recovered her previous delinquent temper. She kicked Yang Ming's lower body. Yang Ming was shocked. Fortunately, his reflexes were faster. He caught Jing Xiaolu's foot and smiled. Miss Jing's jade foot is very beautiful, you dead pervert, why don't you die? Jing Xiaolu was very angry. This person actually dared to touch my foot. He really didn't want to live. Jing Xiaolu had already thought about it. Whether this person was the heir of XX group or not, he dared to flirt with her, then he was dead. She would definitely find someone to cripple him and throw him into the sea to feed the sharks. As Jing Xiaolu spoke, she picked up the teacup on the table and smashed it on Yang Ming's head. One of her feet was caught by Yang Ming, so she couldn't use the seductive kick. She could only change it to using the teacup to smash people. Yang Ming didn't expect Jing Xiaolu's reaction to be so intense, and she didn't recognize him until now. Yang Ming was scared and quickly let go. He smiled bitterly, Xiaolu, it's me. Chapter 1875. Ah. Yang Ming. Jing Xiaolu was stunned suddenly, and the teacup fell to the ground. Her hand that was going to hit Yang Ming also changed to a different position and pounced on Yang Ming. What are you doing? You scared me. I thought a perverted pervert came in. Didn't I want to give you a surprise? Who knew your reaction would be so intense? Yang Ming looked at Jing Xiaolu with a bitter smile. You kicked and hit me. Fortunately, I have good skills. If it were someone else, they would have been lying on the ground. Yeah, then you should rest assured. No pervert can bully me. Jing Xiaolu said proudly when she heard Yang Ming's words. Whoever dares to trouble me, I will use these tricks to beat them until they lie on the ground and can't get up. Humph. This. Yang Ming smiled bitterly again. Jing Xiaolu's words were not unreasonable, but Yang Ming was still shocked. Now, even if you go to Yunnan to perform a mission, you should rest assured about me. Jing Xiaolu still said, think about how powerful I was just now. I have been practicing women's anti-pervert skills recently just to let you go without worry. Yang Ming was a little speechless. In this company, do you think other people can come in so casually except for me? Won't the security guard stop them? Hee hee. Jing Xiaolu was a little embarrassed after listening to Yang Ming's words. What if he sneaks in secretly? Anyway, it is always good for me to be on guard. Well, I didn't say that you shouldn't be on guard. So, I should study and equip you with a female bodyguard. Jing Xiaolu's reaction reminded Yang Ming that Qin Mengyan and the others already had Victoria's protection, but Jing Xiaolu, Sun Jie, Xiao Qing, and the others still had no one to protect them. Zhao Ying could be with Wang Xiaoyan, so he didn't have to worry about her safety. The others really should find another bodyguard. You are willing to think about me. Jing Xiaolu was a little surprised. She originally thought that only Qin Mengyan could find a bodyguard. What are you talking about? You are also someone I care about. Why can't I think about you? Yang Ming said deliberately with a straight face. Really? Then I'm so happy. Jing Xiaolu was a little excited. Yang Ming, don't leave tonight. Can you accompany me in the company? You haven't been with me much. I miss you a little. Speaking of this, Jing Xiaolu, to be honest, she was a straightforward person. She was actually shy. It seemed that shyness was a girl's instinct. It had. Yang Ming's heart moved and nodded. Okay, then I will accompany you, really. Jing Xiaolu couldn't believe it. She just asked with a tentative attitude. She wasn't sure whether Yang Ming could stay or not. However, even though she wasn't sure, she still had to try, right? What Jing Xiaolu didn't expect was that Yang Ming really agreed. For a while, Jing Xiaolu was a little overjoyed. She didn't know what to do. Jing Xiaolu originally thought that she was just Yang Ming's least valued girlfriend. She was satisfied to be able to talk to him. She never thought about asking him for anything. However, Yang Ming agreed to her first request. Of course, it's true. Seeing that Jing Xiaolu was so excited, Yang Ming sighed slightly. It seems that I didn't value her a little too much before. So much so that a very ordinary sentence and a very ordinary thing can make Jing Xiaolu so excited. Yang Ming, thank you. I'm very happy. I'm really happy. Jing Xiaolu's vanity was greatly satisfied. Although she was now the chairman of a company, she still had no confidence in front of Yang Ming. She knew very well that Yang Ming could give her such a big business because Yang Ming was going to Yunnan. Ming Yang Company was only entrusted to her because she happened to be here, so Yang Ming would entrust it to her. If it were someone else, Yang Ming might give the company to them. Jing Xiaolu just felt lucky. It was only today, at this moment, that Jing Xiaolu felt that Yang Ming cared about her a lot. This feeling made Jing Xiaolu so happy that she was about to die. One sentence was enough to make her wait for Yang Ming for a lifetime. Hee. Okay, let's talk about the Jiangyan Lu family first. Yang Ming didn't want Jing Xiaolu to continue to be entangled in this topic because it would only make Yang Ming feel more guilty. Yang Ming had never considered these issues before. He felt that it was normal to run around every day for a better and more comfortable life for himself and his woman in the future. But now it seemed that Yang Ming had enough money, and his ability was strong enough. He could completely retire from the underworld and live a plain life. It was true happiness to be with his beloved every day. The emergence of this idea made Yang Ming want to live in seclusion in Island X even more irresistible. After this Yunnan mission was over, Yang Ming planned to start this matter. Of course, the premise was to eliminate all potential enemies before he could leave with peace of mind. Otherwise, those who were hostile to him might jump out and threaten him again. Yang Ming didn't want to leave any hidden dangers like a time bomb that might explode at any time. Although he was not afraid of them, he was afraid that they would cause some damage on Island X or make a move on his family and friends. In that case, Yang Ming would regret it. This was also the first time that Yang Ming was determined to eliminate these enemies. Yang Ming was too soft-hearted in the past. If the enemy didn't take the initiative to come to him, Yang Ming wouldn't take the initiative to find them and do anything to them. But now it was different. Yang Ming had made up his mind. After this mission, he would look for the behind-the-scenes boss and find out the central Dr. Yang Ming. No matter how powerful and influential they were, Yang Ming must eliminate them completely. Actually, we can only know about the Lu family's news from the TV, said Jing Xiaolu. Jing Xiaolu said, Lu Huamei's secretary looked for me before. Through the phone, she tactfully expressed her request for help and conveyed Miss Lu Huamei's message. If we help her take back control of the Jiangyan group, she will definitely treat us well. Tactful. Help her regain control. Just not treat us badly. Yang Ming suddenly frowned after listening. This Lu Huamei is quite smart, huh? Do you think we're fools for making empty promises like this? There will only be benefits after regaining control. Moreover, the benefits are not stated clearly. Does she want us to work for nothing? Chapter 1876. Yeah. Jing Xiaolu smiled sweetly. Although I have a good relationship with Sister Huamei in private, personal relationships are personal relationships. It can't be mixed with company matters. So, you refused. Yang Ming looked at Jing Xiaolu with some approval. It seemed that she had matured. She wouldn't do anything against the company's interests because of impulsiveness. This way, Yang Ming could leave with peace of mind. The Ming-Yang group wouldn't decline in Jing Xiaolu's hands. You can't say that I refused. Jing Xiaolu smiled. Lu Huamei's secretary said that our intervention was just the icing on the cake. Lu Huamei also has the ability to control the situation. Our intervention at this time was just to ensure that the Jiangyan group and our Ming-Yang group would cooperate more closely in the future. Heh. Yang Ming could naturally tell that Jing Xiaolu didn't believe it. Lu Huamei naturally doesn't want outsiders to intervene in the Lu family's internal affairs. If she agreed to some of our conditions, she would inevitably let us take over the Jiangyan group. When that time comes, she would have just dealt with her two brothers, and a huge company like our Ming-Yang group as a shareholder. It would be strange if Lu Huamei wasn't worried. So, unless it was absolutely necessary, she wouldn't give up the Lu family's interests. Lu Huamei is also very clear about this. Although we have a personal relationship, in the face of the company's interests, a personal relationship is naturally nothing. Let her do as she pleases. Yang Ming frowned. Although he admired Lu Huamei before, he couldn't stand Lu Huamei's way of doing things. If she asked for help, so be it. Even if there were no benefits, she could come to Yang Ming and say some soft words. It was impossible for Yang Ming to sit back and do nothing. However, she was playing mind games with him. Yang Ming was very disgusted. If she doesn't take the initiative, you don't have to take the initiative to look for her. Okay. Jing Xiaolu also saw Yang Ming's displeasure. She stuck out her tongue and said with a smile, "This Sister Huamei is really a fool. She came to beg my husband, act coquettishly, and use a honey trap. My husband's heart softened and helped her, but she insisted. She deserved to be robbed of her family's property." Although she had a good relationship with Lu Huamei, Jing Xiaolu had always stood firmly on Yang Ming's side. Go away. What nonsense are you talking about? Yang Ming glared at her. Why did Jing Xiaolu's words sound so different? As if he was trying to repay the favor. Helping Lu Huamei was because he coveted her beauty. Hee, I won't talk nonsense. Jing Xiaolu smiled, but she didn't take it seriously. Jing Xiaolu now understood Yang Ming's temper. As long as she followed Yang Ming and didn't play mind games with Yang Ming, it was fine no matter how she joked with Yang Ming. Yang Ming wouldn't care. Yang Ming glared at Jing Xiaolu. Just as he was about to lecture her, the internal phone on Jing Xiaolu's desk rang. Jing Xiaolu was slightly stunned and quickly picked up the phone. Hello, I'm Jing Xiaolu. When Jing Xiaolu picked up the phone, she returned to her usual capable and experienced self. She didn't look like the playful self she had with Yang Ming before. Director Jing, Miss Lu Huamei from the Jiangyan group is looking for you. You see. The one who spoke was Jing Xiaolu's secretary. She didn't dare to make a decision since Lu Huamei was here. Oh. Lu Huamei is here. Jing Xiaolu was stunned. She didn't expect Lu Huamei to come so quickly. Wasn't there news that she was under house arrest by her two cousins? Why did she come to Songjiang City? Yang Ming also raised his eyebrows. He didn't expect her to come to the group's headquarters so quickly when they were just talking about Lu Huamei. Jing Xiaolu looked at Yang Ming, wanting to ask for his opinion. Although Jing Xiaolu was in charge of the group, she naturally became a subordinate of Yang Ming now that Yang Ming was here. Let's meet. I also want to see what she thinks, Yang Ming said lightly. Okay, Jing Xiaolu nodded and said to the person on the phone, bring her to my office. Yes, Director Jing, Jing Xiaolu's secretary said. After hanging up the phone, Jing Xiaolu was a little confused. Yang Ming, why do you think Lu Huamei is here? Isn't she under house arrest by her cousins? The news we can get is both true and false. None of us know the specific situation, so it's better to listen to what Lu Huamei has to say, Yang Ming smiled. That's true. Let's see if she's sincere this time. If she still isn't, then we can only forget about it. Jing Xiaolu nodded. It's definitely not simple to intervene in the Lu family's affairs in this situation. After a while, there was a knock on the door outside the office. Jing Xiaolu cleared her throat and said, "Please come in." The secretary pushed open the office door and walked in first. "Director Jing, Miss Lu Huamei from the Jiangyan Group is here." Jing Xiaolu stood up and greeted her warmly. "Sister Huamei, why are you here all of a sudden?" "Hee, the house is in a mess. It's giving me a headache, so I came out to relax," Lu Huamei said and glanced at Yang Ming, who was sitting on the sofa. She was slightly stunned. She didn't expect Yang Ming to be in Jing Xiaolu's office too. However, Yang Ming didn't get up to greet her. It seemed that Yang Ming didn't take her seriously. She couldn't help but be a little annoyed. Among so many partners, the first one she looked for was the Ming-Yang Group. Yang Ming actually gave her the cold shoulder, making Lu Huamei feel belittled. "It seems that I've disturbed Sister Xiaolu. How about I come back later?" Although Lu Huamei was annoyed, she didn't reveal anything. She was retreating in order to advance. This way, she wouldn't offend anyone, and it would also show that she wasn't in a hurry. She would be able to get more benefits in future cooperation negotiations. Of course, she could use this move to deal with other people, but it was obviously used on the wrong person to deal with Yang Ming. Yang Ming actually didn't care about the company. What he cared about now was feelings. This was also the reason why he could help Guan Xiaoxiang. If only Jing Xiaolu was here, Lu Huamei would have made the right move. However, Yang Ming was also here. If she still made the same move, it was a bad move. Jing Xiaolu was about to speak, but Yang Ming said faintly, "If that's the case, then come back later." Ah. This time, it was Lu Huamei's turn to be stunned. She didn't expect Yang Ming to take her polite words seriously. Generally speaking, if she said something like retreating in order to advance, others would say nothing and invite her to sit down and talk. However, Yang Ming didn't play by the rules and directly asked her to come back later. Wasn't this directly disrespecting her? It seems that Miss Lu doesn't want to leave. "Let's talk frankly if you have anything to say," Yang Ming said faintly. He was also giving Lu Huamei one last chance. "If you tell me the truth, I might help you if I'm happy. If you still want to beat around the bush, then sorry, I don't have time to talk nonsense with you." Chapter 1877. This. "Then let's sit down and talk about our cooperation." A hint of anger flashed across Lu Huamei's face. It was obvious that she didn't understand Yang Ming's temper. Instead, she treated Yang Ming as an ordinary business partner and a profit giver. Yang Ming frowned imperceptibly. "Although this woman is pretty, why is she so stubborn?" He couldn't help but mock. "I heard that you were put under house arrest by your two brothers. You escaped so quickly. It seems that you have some tricks up your sleeve." Yang Ming had already said so. If Lu Huamei still wasn't in the mood to tell the truth, then Yang Ming wasn't going to help her. "Hee, if I didn't have some tricks up my sleeve, I wouldn't be able to compete with my two cousins for the control of the company." Obviously, Lu Huamei didn't understand Yang Ming's words. She was too smart for her own good. She made mistakes when she was too smart. She took Yang Ming's words as a test to see her confidence. In fact, it was understandable for Lu Huamei to think so. If it were another company's boss, they would also test Lu Huamei's confidence before deciding whether to continue the cooperation. Lu Huamei did have some tricks up her sleeve. She was indeed imprisoned by her two cousins. However, she had been in the Lu family for so long. It was impossible to say that she didn't have any direct descendants. Although Lu Huamei was able to escape with the help of the direct descendants, it was not as easy as she made it out to be. She had really put in a lot of effort. However, she would naturally not say it out loud at this moment. She had to remain mysterious. The more confused she was, the more confident she could get. "Oh, then I wish Miss Lu success in seizing power," said Yang Ming lightly. "Ha!" Lu Huamei was stunned. She didn't expect Yang Ming to not have any reaction to this. He wasn't surprised, nor did he comment. Instead, he wished her success. Originally, the initiative was in her hands. However, she lost it because of Yang Ming's words. Lu Huamei could only say, "Mr. Yang, although I am confident that I can control the Lu family in the end, the process may be very tragic. This will definitely be a fierce battle. This is not in line with my original intention. My original intention was not to damage the Lu family's interests. However, the Lu family's interests will definitely be damaged during the fight. This is not what I want to see. That's why I want to find a partner to help me. I will give the corresponding benefits after I control the family." "Oh, I see that Miss Lu is wasting her time on this unnecessary move. Since you are prepared to give a part of the benefits after control, then what's wrong with losing a part of the benefits during the fight? Isn't it all the same inside and outside? Why do you need to find a partner?" Yang Ming reminded her. Yang Ming was very disgusted by Lu Huamei's act of pretending to be smart. "Mr. Yang, what do you mean by this?" Lu Huamei seemed a little angry, "Because your Ming Yang group is my friend and my business partner. That's why I thought of you first when something good happened. I wanted to give you the profits that were supposed to be lost to you. This is also my way of taking care of a friend. But from what you're saying, it seems like I'm begging you." "Oh, so you're not begging us?" Yang Ming had lost his patience. "Since you're not begging, then thank you for your kindness, Miss Lu Huamei. Our group doesn't lack money. We don't want any benefits. We're already doing well. It's useless to have too much money, right?" Lu Huamei was completely dumbfounded. Doesn't Yang Ming mean that there's no need to continue the discussion? Lu Huamei had always thought that Yang Ming's words meant that he wanted to fight for more benefits. However, after listening to Yang Ming's words, it seemed that Yang Ming didn't care about benefits at all. He simply didn't want to continue the discussion with her. In fact, Lu Huamei's actions had indeed angered Yang Ming. Jing Xiaolu sighed at the side. "Sister Huamei, oh Sister Huamei, you're really stupid even though you're smart all your life. Why can't you see what kind of person Yang Ming is?" However, even though Jing Xiaolu felt that it was a pity, she couldn't criticize Lu Huamei in front of Yang Ming. This was because Yang Ming hated women who thought they were smart the most. Yang Ming was a very chauvinistic man. He naturally didn't want his woman to be too strong in front of him. Even a woman as smart as Sun Jia would be obedient in front of Yang Ming. She would also praise Yang Ming when she was with other women. She would never embarrass Yang Ming. However, this Lu Huamei always played mind games with Yang Ming. It would be strange if Yang Ming could help her. This way, it was almost impossible for her to get help from the Ming Yang group. Since Yang Ming didn't agree, Jing Xiaolu naturally wouldn't make a decision on her own. "Mr. Yang, are you saying that you don't want to cooperate with us at all?" Lu Huamei looked at Yang Ming unwillingly. She felt that Yang Ming was tricking her. Since he was tricking her, why couldn't she trick him back? Therefore, Lu Huamei directly asked for the final result of the matter. Yang Ming only had to say whether he wanted to cooperate or not. If Yang Ming was only testing before, then Yang Ming definitely wouldn't give a definite answer this time. This was because no matter how he tested, the result was still based on the intention to cooperate. Therefore, Lu Huamei was forcing him to abdicate. She wanted Yang Ming to say directly whether he still wanted to cooperate or not. This kind of negotiation technique wasn't desirable. Although it was effective, it might offend the other party. However, Lu Huamei had no other choice now. She was also extremely angry, so she directly asked this question. Cooperation. So it's cooperation. Yang Ming pretended to be confused and said, I always thought that you were the one who came to beg us. Forget about the cooperation. We're not interested. You. Lu Huamei was extremely angry. She stared at Yang Ming. Mr. Yang, then we'll meet again. Your attitude makes it difficult for us to continue our cooperation. I don't only have the Ming Yang group as a partner. I have other partners. Since you have such an attitude, then let's not talk about it. Oh, okay. Goodbye. Yang Ming waved his hand impatiently. In fact, the only partner that Lu Huamei could think of that had the strength to turn the situation around was the Ming Yang group. The other groups weren't as big as the Jiangyan group. If she got involved at this time, she was afraid that not only would she not get any benefits, but it would also be difficult to retreat. Therefore, she wouldn't get involved at all. For most of the Jiangyan group's partners, they maintained a wait-and-see attitude. This was because no matter who was at the helm of the Lu family in the end, their cooperation relationship would not change. Chapter 1878. The Jiangyan group would definitely have some turbulence with a new leader. It would be too late to rope in these partners by then. How could they harm each other's interests? So the result would be the same if they didn't make a move at this time. These partners wouldn't be stupid enough to jump out and take the lead. Lu Huamei didn't even need to probe because Lu Zhinan and Lu Zhiqiao had already probed before. These partners all said that they would maintain a neutral position and not help each other. This way, Lu Huamei's only hope was Jing Xiaolu. And the Ming Yang group behind Jing Xiaolu did indeed have the ability to reverse the situation. Lu Huamei thought that Jing Xiaolu would definitely make a move with her personal relationship with Jing Xiaolu and the promise of benefits. However, she didn't expect Yang Ming to interfere here. However, Lu Huamei would only be humiliating herself if she continued to stay here since he had already said so much. Lu Huamei couldn't bring herself to say some soft words. She could only pretend to be angry and stand up gloomily. She said to Jing Xiaolu, Sister Xiaolu, since your group has no intention of cooperating, then I'll leave first. Sister Huamei, we can't do business, but we still have a good relationship. In private, you are still my sister. Jing Xiaolu said apologetically. However, she really couldn't help much. Okay, I'll treat you to dinner tonight. Lu Huamei naturally didn't give up. She wanted to use dinner to ease their relationship. She wanted to see if Jing Xiaolu could deal with her a little more, however, she naturally couldn't say anything now. Tonight. Jing Xiaolu had an appointment with Yang Ming tonight. She was a little reluctant to leave, but her heart softened when she saw Lu Huamei's pitiful look. I don't have much time tonight, but I still have time for a meal. See you tonight. Okay. Lu Huamei sighed in relief. She was really afraid that Jing Xiaolu wouldn't agree. Lu Huamei's current situation in the Lu family wasn't bad, but very bad. She was the last to enter the Jiangyan group. Therefore, she didn't have as many direct descendants as Lu Zhiqiao and Lu Zhinan. Especially since their father, Lu Hua, was the general manager of the group. He had even more confidence. No matter if it was Lu Zhinan or Lu Zhiqiao, Lu Hua would support them. However, she, Lu Huamei, would not. Lu Huamei was only able to stand firm in the group because of old Master Lu Jiangyan. Now that old Master Lu had a sudden heart attack and was still in the hospital, the Lu family was in chaos. Who would support Lu Huamei? Moreover, Lu Jiangyan didn't even leave a will. This made Lu Jianan even more confident. He was determined to win the control of the group this time. Therefore, Lu Huamei was the weakest party. Her only support was now hospitalized. She had no choice but to seek external help. In this case, if the Ming-Yang group didn't support her, then she would really lose miserably. Lu Huamei was unwilling. Especially when she was under house arrest for the past few days, she found out the truth, a huge secret. She wanted revenge, which was why she had to control the Jiangyan group. Only by controlling the Jiangyan group would she have the opportunity to carry out the next step of the plan. Previously, Lu Huamei didn't really care about whether she could control the group. She had a fair heart. She wanted the group to develop well and not let down her grandfather's efforts. However, an accident changed her mind and filled her with hatred towards Lu Hua. She wanted Lu Hua dead. Lu Hua's entire family dead. Even so, it was difficult to calm the anger in her heart. Lu Huamei clenched her fists when she thought of her father lying in the hospital in a vegetative state. Lu Huamei took a deep breath and left Jing Xiaolu's office. I was a little impatient. If it doesn't work out, I'll give more benefits to Jing Xiaolu tonight. No matter what, I have to take revenge. Grandpa, I'm sorry. I have to give away a part of the Jiangyan group to avenge my father. But it's better than giving it to Lu Hua's family, who are worse than pigs and dogs. Looking at Lu Huamei's lonely figure walking out of the office, Jing Xiaolu sighed and said, actually, Sister Huamei isn't wrong. She's also using negotiation methods. I've learned a lot from her. She isn't wrong, but I don't like her style. Yang Ming said faintly, she's not my relative, nor is she my woman. I have no obligation to help her, so she can do whatever she wants. Oh. Jing Xiaolu nodded and didn't refute. She was thinking about how to persuade Lu Huamei tonight and show her the right way. But now it seems that Lu Huamei has angered Yang Ming. Asking her to admit defeat probably won't move Yang Ming. What a headache. Why is this Sister Huamei so muddle-headed? Jing Xiaolu sighed and shook her head. I won't think about these things for the time being. Now, I want to enjoy the time with Yang Ming. In an old-fashioned seaside villa in Songjiang City, the behind-the-scenes boss looked at the chat with Dr. Benjamin on the computer screen with a gloomy face. Jetson was killed by Yang Ming, and this Kevin also died inexplicably. The behind-the-scenes boss couldn't believe his eyes. He asked a few times and got a positive answer. Kevin was indeed dead. He told this regrettable news to Huang Yukai. Huang Yukai was also inexplicably shocked, but then he showed an extremely indignant look. Boss, is Dr. Benjamin lying to us? What super warriors? They're just trash. One was killed by Yang Ming, and the other died inexplicably. If they were really so powerful and invincible, how could they die so casually? The behind-the-scenes boss also doubted whether the super warriors that Dr. Benjamin mentioned were useful. Why did they die one after another? I, an ordinary person, didn't die, but the super warriors died faster than anything else. Isn't this a scam? The doctor said that he won't send super warriors to help us for the time being because super warriors can't be mass-produced. The two most successful people on the doctor's side have been killed, and the remaining few have various flaws. They can't carry out long-distance operations, said the behind-the-scenes boss. Boss, then how do we deal with Yang Ming? Huang Yukai said very unhappily, that kid Yang Ming is very carefree. He won't be carefree for long. I have already inquired that Yang Ming is going to Yunnan to perform a mission. It is said to be a special mission. Although I don't know the specific content of the mission, this is a good opportunity. If we use it properly, said the behind-the-scenes boss with a sneer. Chapter 1879. Oh. Really? Huang Yukai was stunned. But if he goes to Yunnan, how do we deal with him? Of course, it's true. Before this, I had a partner that you didn't know. The behind-the-scenes boss smiled mysteriously and said, his name is Elder Yu. He is a very powerful person in Miaojiang. The behind-the-scenes boss hadn't contacted Elder Yu for a long time, but it didn't mean that the connection was cut off. Although Elder Yu had given so much money, in the end, he still didn't do anything to Yang Ming. This made the behind-the-scenes boss quite critical. However, the behind-the-scenes boss also understood through a series of recent events that Yang Ming wasn't so easy to deal with. Therefore, he no longer resented Elder Yu because now it seemed that he and Elder Yu were on par with each other. This also made the behind-the-scenes boss deeply feel that it was a mistake to choose to go against Yang Ming. However, who made him unable to distinguish between public and private interests? Which was for himself, and which was for the center? The behind-the-scenes boss could no longer find himself in life. When he dealt with Yang Ming, it was because Yang Ming blocked his way forward. The behind-the-scenes boss didn't want to be controlled by the center all his life. He also wanted to break away from the center and have his own life. He wanted to live in seclusion with his sister, Alice, and live an ordinary life. Working for the center, although it seemed to be very glorious with money and people in his hands, he never had his own freedom. The behind-the-scenes boss believed that once the center had a task that required him to sacrifice himself, Dr. Benjamin would not hesitate to give him up. He was just a chess piece, and so was his sister, Alice. However, the only way to make himself grow quickly and have a way to compete with the strength of the center was blocked by Yang Ming. How could the behind-the-scenes boss not hate? This was also the reason why he targeted Yang Ming everywhere. In fact, in essence, he and Yang Ming had no deep hatred. However, Yang Ming blocked his way to freedom. He was unwilling in his heart. Even if he died, he wanted to drag Yang Ming down with him. Elder Yu. Why does this name sound so weird? Huang Yukai repeated it faintly and looked at the behind-the-scenes boss with some doubts. This person knows about Yang Ming's movements. To be precise, Yang Ming is going to find trouble with Elder Yu this time. When the behind-the-scenes boss said this, he couldn't help but laugh. It's good enough that he didn't find trouble with him. He actually took the initiative to go to Elder Yu's territory to show off. This time, he can't blame others. If he wants to die, then no one can do anything about it. Are you sure that Elder Yu can keep Yang Ming here? Huang Yukai didn't believe in Elder Yu's strength. If he had the strength to keep Yang Ming, then what was he doing before? There was no need to wait until now. The behind-the-scenes boss saw Huang Yutsai's doubts from his face, so he explained, this Elder Yu has practiced an evil technique. Now that the evil technique has started, in his own words, he is already invincible. Of course, it might not be that powerful, but it should be close. Really? Huang Yukai complained a little. At that time, Jetson was also said to be invincible, but wasn't he killed in the end? Also, didn't Kevin, who was in contact with him later, disappear inexplicably? Therefore, Huang Yukai didn't believe in the bragging about being invincible. But now, he had to avenge Wang Shifan and his son, so he could only rely on the behind-the-scenes boss. You don't have to look at me with such a suspicious gaze. The behind-the-scenes boss naturally knew what Huang Yukai was thinking. Regardless of whether he can keep Yang Ming or not, someone will create trouble for Yang Ming for us. Why don't we do it? That's true. Huang Yukai nodded. Who cares if Yang Ming is dead or not? It's enough that someone is helping us. Even if he doesn't die, he can create some trouble for him. The behind-the-scenes boss's face also showed a strange smile. In his opinion, Yang Ming was probably doomed this time. No matter how powerful Yang Ming was, he was facing a normal person. Elder Yu was no longer a human being. Elder Yu, who practiced evil techniques, could be described as abnormal, and his attack weapon was sinister voodoo. This was not a conventional weapon at all. The behind-the-scenes boss didn't believe that Yang Ming could deal with it. It was said that even the Lan family of Miaojiang was not Elder Yu's opponent. How could Yang Ming deal with Elder Yu? At first, he was worried that Yang Ming and Lan Ling would hinder his plan to defeat Elder Yu after they got together. But now it seemed that the Lan family was in a precarious situation, let alone helping Yang Ming. Of course, the behind-the-scenes boss didn't want to explain these details to Wang Yukai. Everything would depend on the result. If Yang Ming could stay there, there was no need to say anything. If Yang Ming couldn't stay there, then it was useless to say anything now. Jing Xiaolu's office was a separate suite divided into an inner room and an outer room. The inner room was a lounge, just like the hotel room. There was a bed, a TV, and a separate bathroom. Jing Xiaolu informed her secretary that she wanted to rest. If there was anything, she would ask someone to contact Brother Bao or Brother Ho. Then she ran to the inner room to play a pushover game with Yang Ming. The two lingered until dinner time. Jing Xiaolu got up from the bed reluctantly. "Husband, I'm going to eat with Sister Huame. You find a place to eat first. I'll call you at night. Let's go to the hotel." Yang Ming originally planned to go home, but he nodded when he saw Jing Xiaolu's expectant gaze. He spent the least time with Jing Xiaolu recently, so he might as well stay with her for the whole day today. "Okay, then you go. I'll just eat by myself." Yang Ming agreed, but that Lu Huame, I don't think she's very sincere. I don't like her asking for our help and giving us benefits. Jing Xiaolu was shocked. She knew that Yang Ming had a lot of opinions about Lu Huame. Jing Xiaolu was a little troubled. She had a good relationship with Lu Huame. They had contacted each other a lot in private during this time, and she had even learned a lot from her. It could be said that Lu Huame was half her teacher. Therefore, Jing Xiaolu didn't want Lu Huame to fall this time from the bottom of her heart. She wanted Lu Huame to pull herself together and get through this difficult time. She wanted to help Lu Huame. But this was from a personal point of view. From the company's perspective, Jing Xiaolu was a rational person. Yang Ming had given her such a big business. She couldn't do things based on her own preferences, and she couldn't appoint people based on favoritism. Personal relationships were personal. Jing Xiaolu would never do anything that would harm the company's interests. Chapter 1880. However, from Jing Xiaolu's point of view, if both parties were to make certain concessions, her company would still be profitable, and she could help Lu Huame get through this difficult time. Why not? It was just that Lu Huame's strong woman side made Yang Ming feel disgusted. He completely ignored this matter, leaving Jing Xiaolu with no way to salvage the situation. AI. Jing Xiaolu sighed, "Husband, her character is like this. Her father got into a car accident when she was young, so she had to take care of the family by herself. From a certain point of view, she is actually quite similar to me. She doesn't open her heart easily, and always uses another face to deal with people. It's just that she is a little more fortunate than me, or a little more unfortunate. It depends on how you look at it." Jing Xiaolu was telling the truth. She used to look like a delinquent girl. It wasn't that she was willing to be a delinquent girl, but she had to use such an identity to hide the weakness in her heart. She needed a lot of money to treat her grandmother and support her family. It was impossible to get so much money through normal channels, so she chose to be a delinquent girl. While looking for a stronger backer, she kept scamming people for money. Lu Huame was the same, but she was luckier because her family was rich. However, there was more intrigue, and every step was dangerous. She could be doomed at any time. I don't care about that. Everyone has their own destiny. However, since she is looking for me for help and is using this attitude, I can only say sorry. I don't owe her anything, Yang Ming said faintly. You can accept my past. Why can't you give Sister Huamei a chance? She is really pitiful. Jing Xiaolu got up and put on her clothes helplessly. She didn't beg Yang Ming again, and only said, I'll go first. I have to treat her to a meal. I'll call you at night. Okay, Yang Ming nodded and watched Jing Xiaolu leave the office. In fact, if Lu Huamei had asked him softly, Yang Ming would definitely help her. First of all, she was a delicate beauty. Yang Ming couldn't bear to see girls cry. Although he was a male chauvinist, he was also the most soft-hearted person. What's more, Lu Huamei had helped Jing Xiaolu in the last escort company's matter. Plus, she was Jing Xiaolu's good friend. How could Yang Ming sit by and do nothing? Even if it was for nothing and without any return, Yang Ming could do it. Because of Yang Ming's character. Like Shen Yushi's case, at first, but Yang Ming was still able to handle it. He was of course, was of the Huameis of the world of the view of the world, of the view of the Huamei of view. Coming out of Jing Xiaolu's office, Yang Ming was about to go to Bao Sanli's office. But as soon as he got into the elevator, he saw an unexpected person. It was Jing Xiaolu's good friend, Gu Xiniao. At this moment, Gu Xiniao was flirting with a tall and rough man. She looked very happy. The man was also very casual and was laughing with Gu Xiniao. This scene made Yang Ming slightly stunned. Originally, Yang Ming thought that if Gu Xiniao and Bai Hai were to have a relationship crisis, the first one to cheat would definitely be Bai Hai. So, Yang Ming had also reminded Bai Hai many times on different occasions not to forget his old love because of a new person. Bai Hai shouldn't forget that he got to where he was by relying on nepotism. The person he should thank the most was Gu Xiniao. Bai Hai was quite reassuring. Even if he was now the general manager of many property companies, there was no messy news. Even his secretary was a married woman in her 30s. When he went out to socialize, he was even more careful. He was afraid that any unfavorable rumors would spread to Jing Xiaolu so that she would stand up for her friend, Gu Xiniao. Seeing this scene today made Yang Ming feel very strange. Why is Gu Xiniao so close to a strange man? Does she not want Bai Hai anymore? Thinking of this, Yang Ming couldn't help but frown. He didn't have a good impression of fickle women. In the past, Gu Xiniao was more casual. When she slept with Bai Hai's boss before, Yang Ming could treat it as being forced. But now, Yang Ming couldn't help but feel disgusted when he saw her like this. If she was such a person, Yang Ming wouldn't say much, but he would also let Jing Xiaolu have less contact with her. Yang Ming was afraid that she would lead Jing Xiaolu astray. Brother Yang. When Gu Xiniao saw Yang Ming, she was also stunned. She didn't expect Yang Ming to appear here. She was a little nervous and embarrassed. She was somewhat at a loss. Yang Ming frowned even more. Originally, he didn't intend to speak. He pretended not to know Gu Xiniao. When he reached the floor where Bao Sanli was, he went straight out of the elevator. He was giving Gu Xiniao face and telling her to behave herself. However, since Gu Xiniao took the initiative to say hello, Yang Ming couldn't pretend not to know her. What's the matter? Don't you know how to be more careful in the company? Yang Ming asked in a low voice. He was also giving face to Jing Xiaolu because this was her friend after all. I'm sorry, Brother Yang. I thought it was in the elevator. No one saw it, so... Gu Xinyao was even more embarrassed. The man next to her also lowered his head and didn't dare to speak. Although he didn't know who Yang Ming was, he knew that this was the company's leader when he saw Gu Xinyao's attitude. "Does Bai Hai know?" asked Yang Ming. He didn't know at first, but later, he knew. Gu Xinyao said carefully. "What did he say?" Yang Ming was stunned. He didn't expect Bai Hai to already know. He didn't agree at first, but later. "I was angry with him. He had no choice but to agree. He just asked me to pay attention to the influence." Gu Xinyao lowered her head and didn't dare to look at Yang Ming. "Ah." Yang Ming widened his eyes and felt that it was a bit incredible. Bai Hai agreed. He even asked Gu Xinyao to pay attention to the influence. How is this possible? What is Bai Hai thinking? Yang Ming felt that his brain was short-circuited. He couldn't react for a while. Am I unable to keep up with the times, or is this world too crazy? This kind of thing, Yang Ming felt a little disgusted. Although it was Yang Ming's male chauvinism, in the end, the world had been a patriarchal society since ancient times. In this world, most of the wealth and value were created by men. It was undeniable that there were strong women, but they were in the minority after all. The ancient emperors had many concubines. That was a fact that was easier to accept. Just like Yang Ming had more than one girlfriend, and everyone got along well with each other, so it wasn't too complicated. Chapter 1881. However, if a woman had many men, this was somewhat unacceptable. It was unbearable just thinking about it. At least, Yang Ming couldn't stand it. Surprisingly, Bai Hai actually agreed to it. "Brother Yang, don't blame Bai Hai. He wanted to tell you, but I didn't let him." Gu Xinyao was afraid that Yang Ming would vent his anger on Bai Hai, so she quickly explained. This made Yang Ming even more puzzled. He originally thought that Gu Xinyao had no feelings for Bai Hai, so Gu Xinyao found another man. However, from Gu Xinyao's words, it seemed that this was not the case. Gu Xinyao seemed to like Bai Hai. What the hell is going on? Generally speaking, there were many fickle men, but fickle women were rare. Most women were single-minded. Before they had a change of heart, they wouldn't accept other men. Of course, this was excluding those promiscuous girls, this. Yang Ming really didn't know what to say. He had to say, "Does Xiaolu know?" Sister-in-law Xiaolu knows. It was through her consent that I was introduced. Gu Xinyao nodded and said. "Ha!" Yang Ming was about to faint. Why was it introduced through Jing Xiaolu? Why would Jing Xiaolu do this kind of thing? With Yang Ming's understanding of Jing Xiaolu, she wasn't such a person, right? What's wrong, Brother Yang? Seeing Yang Ming so surprised, Gu Xinyao also wondered what happened to Yang Ming. Nothing. Yang Ming shook his head. What is his name? What is he doing in the company? His name is Gu Xinguang. He is my fourth uncle's child. Gu Xinyao quickly introduced him carefully. Gu Xinguang. Your fourth uncle's child. Yang Ming's mouth was wide open. He finally realized that he had misunderstood. Gu Xinyao and Gu Xinguang were relatives. It was normal for them to mess around. If she introduced her relative to work in the company, Bai Hai would naturally stop it. After all, it wouldn't be good if people talked about it. It seemed that he had completely misunderstood. Thinking of this, Yang Ming couldn't help but feel ashamed. He even said that she was too crazy, but in fact, it was his own thoughts that were too complicated. After he came back from the army, he had nothing to do at home, so I introduced him to the company to be a security guard. Brother Yang, I didn't go through the back door. Xinguang's conditions were enough for our company to recruit him, but he was supposed to be a guard at the property company below. Sister Xiaolu helped to arrange for him to be a security guard at the headquarters. This way, he wouldn't be exposed to the sun. Gu Xinyao said carefully, Brother Yang, don't be angry. How about I let him go to the property company below to stand guard? It's okay. Yang Ming waved his hand embarrassedly. He's your relative. It's only right to take care of him. Ah. Everything was fine. Then, thank you, Brother Yang. Gu Xinyao thought that Yang Ming frowned because he was going to get angry, but he was fine now. Why did it make her feel like she was lifting it up high and putting it down gently? It's really nothing. I was thinking about something else just now. Did you misunderstand? Yang Ming complained with a smile. No. How could I misunderstand? Gu Xinyao was overjoyed. She was relieved. It turned out that Brother Yang wasn't dissatisfied with his relative coming to work in the company. As she thought of this, she quickly said to her younger brother, Gu Xinguang, aren't you going to thank Brother Yang? Thank you, Brother Yang. Gu Xinguang was a little shy. It seemed that he had just entered the society. Work hard. Your sister's relationship is one thing, but you have to work hard yourself too. Yang Ming patted Gu Xinguang's shoulder and said to Gu Xinyao, let Xiaolu arrange a vice-captain position for him first. If he can do it, we will focus on training him in the future. Ah. Gu Xinyao and Gu Xinguang were so surprised that they opened their mouths wide. They didn't expect a blessing in disguise. Gu Xinguang was actually promoted. She glared at Gu Xinguang and said, aren't you going to thank Brother Yang? Thank you, Brother Yang. Thank you, Brother Yang. Gu Xinguang was so excited that his face turned red. He didn't know how to express his emotions. He kept thanking Yang Ming. All right. Yang Ming waved his hand. You don't have to thank me. I can only help you this much. You have to walk your own path in the future. I want a down-to-earth and hardworking person. I don't want a person who is fearless and arrogant just because he has connections. I don't want to hear others say that you don't put your boss in your eyes because of your connections in the future. Yang Ming needed to remind Gu Xinguang in advance. Although the current Gu Xinguang didn't seem like a pompous person, no one could say whether he would change in the future as the environment changed. In a company, it wasn't that relatives and friends couldn't be used, but it was a problem with the system. There must be a reasonable system to restrain these people so that these people wouldn't act cool and not put their boss in their eyes just because they had some connections. Brother Yang, don't worry. I'm not that kind of person. When I'm in the company, others don't know about my relationship with my sister. Just now in the elevator, I really didn't notice. I definitely won't do it in the future. Brother Yang, don't worry. Gu Xinguang was a practical person and said quickly. Yang Ming smiled and didn't say anything. He just reminded that Gu Xinguang's future and whether he would stand out was his own business. Yang Ming couldn't care so much. Yang Ming nodded to Gu Xinyao, got out of the elevator, and walked to Bao Sanli's office. Jing Xiaolu came to the hotel room where Lu Huamei was staying, but found that Lu Huamei's eyes were red. It was obvious that she had just cried. Lu Huamei forced a smile when she saw Jing Xiaolu. Xiaolu, you're here. What's wrong, Sister Huamei? You cried. Jing Xiaolu looked at Lu Huamei in surprise. She didn't expect Lu Huamei, who had always been strong, to cry. However, she felt pity in her heart. If she cried in front of Yang Ming just now, even if Yang Ming didn't do anything, he wouldn't just sit by and watch, right? It's nothing. Lu Huamei shook her head. Of course, she didn't admit that she cried. That was because she, Lu Huamei, had the image of a strong woman in front of outsiders. She was a strong girl. No matter what, Even if her father fell down and was unconscious in the hospital, she would still play the role of a strong woman. That was because she knew that this was the only way her family could be considered a family. If she also fell down, what would happen to her mother? The whole family would lose all hope in an instant. If she was as weak as her mother, then her greedy uncle would pounce on her like a hungry wolf. Not only would he drive her and her mother out of the Lu family, but he would also eat up all the shares in their hands. So no matter what, Lu Huamei had to pretend to be a strong person. If she didn't act strong at all times, she wouldn't be bullied. Chapter 1882. In fact, Jing Xiaolu was right. Lu Huamei was just pretending. In fact, she was just like Jing Xiaolu. They were both weak women. When Lu Huamei was in the hotel earlier, she had called a few of her close friends and expressed her intention to cooperate again. However, these people who were originally very close and enthusiastic were now avoiding Lu Huamei as if they were avoiding the plague. They flatly refused to cooperate with Lu Huamei. This made Lu Huamei's mood fall to rock bottom again. Originally, she thought that it was normal for those partners to not help for the sake of benefits. However, why did these good friends turn their backs on her? Lu Huamei wanted to cry. She hadn't cried for a long time. She finally couldn't hold it in the hotel alone and cried loudly. She was really done for this time. Without any support, she was doomed. In the Lu family's general situation, the power was concentrated on Lu Hua and his two sons. Lu Huamei was destined to be on the weak side. Without help, there was nothing she could do to turn the situation around. Moreover, Lu Huamei was very clear that even with help, she might not be able to turn the situation around. Therefore, Lu Huamei cried. She regretted it now. She shouldn't have talked to Yang Ming so harshly. There was no room for redemption now. This way, the Lu family was basically done for in the hands of Lu Hua, Lu Zhinan, and Lu Zhiqiao. Of course, this wasn't the most important thing. The important thing was that she accidentally heard an elder on the board of directors tell the truth about her father's car accident. All of this was planned by Lu Hua and Lu Zhinan. Their purpose was to seize power. Lu Huamei wanted Lu Hua dead. She couldn't bear the torment of hatred anymore, so she cried. However, there was nothing she could do after crying. Although crying was a sign of the weak, she could only be the weak in this situation. She wanted to have someone to talk to, but when she looked back, she realized that there was no one around her who could be called a confidant or a best friend. In her opinion, Jing Xiaolu would definitely not come to see her today. Jing Xiaolu was just being perfunctory when she said that she would treat her to dinner. Now, it was already past dinner time, but Jing Xiaolu still hadn't come. Lu Huamei guessed that Jing Xiaolu had also given up on her. Therefore, Lu Huamei didn't care about her image anymore. She didn't touch up her makeup after crying. She didn't even bother to wipe away the tears on her face. She just wanted to sleep. After waking up, she wanted to return to her carefree childhood. Every day after school, she would sit at the dining table with her mother and wait for her father to come back from work. However, she knew that this was impossible. Her father was lying on the bed, and it was unknown whether he was dead or alive. Her enemies were still at large, and they still wanted to bully her even more. However, Lu Huamei couldn't change anything. That kind of heartwarming scene could only appear in dreams. The only thing Lu Huamei was looking forward to now was a good dream. At this moment, the doorbell rang. Lu Huamei thought it was the waiter because she had just asked for a set meal. However, she didn't expect to see Jing Xiaolu when she opened the door. Sister Huamei, don't lie. There are still tear stains on your face. Jing Xiaolu looked at Lu Huamei's haggard appearance and felt a little worried. She sighed deeply. Sister Huamei, if you have any grievances, can you tell me? Xiaolu, you're here. I thought you wouldn't come. Lu Huamei smiled bitterly. She knew that it was useless to deny it with her current appearance. Since Jing Xiaolu saw through it, there was no need for her to deny it. She rubbed the corner of her eyes and said sadly, now I know that I don't have a single friend. You do. Jing Xiaolu's heart softened when she saw Lu Huamei's appearance. She said, am I not your friend? In fact, Jing Xiaolu and Lu Huamei could only be considered to have a good relationship. They definitely couldn't be considered good friends because the two mostly discussed company matters and rarely talked about personal matters. Yes, Xiaolu, you are my friend. Lu Huamei finally couldn't hold back her inner feelings and hugged Jing Xiaolu. Her tears fell again. I'm very happy that you still think of me at this time. I'm really happy. Xiaolu, thank you. Sister Huamei, what are you saying? I came to see you as a good friend. Jing Xiaolu wanted to promise something, but she couldn't. She was in a dilemma. Lu Huamei saw Jing Xiaolu's dilemma and smiled bitterly. I know your intentions, but Yang Ming obviously doesn't want to help me. I know it's none of your business. In fact, I also understand that if you get involved in our Lu family's matters at this time, there's a big possibility that you'll lose everything in the end. All your investments will go down the drain. My other friends are also unwilling to help. After all, friends are friends, but they can't harm their own company's interests, right? So, Yang Ming's approach is right. He is a rational person. Yang Ming, rational. Jing Xiaolu smiled bitterly and said in her heart, Sister Huamei, you really misunderstood. Yang Ming is not a very rational person. On the contrary, Yang Ming is a person who is easily swayed by emotions. If you had cried and begged him in the beginning, I think he would have definitely agreed. But now, I'm afraid it's hard to reverse the situation now. Isn't that so? Lu Huamei asked rhetorically. No. Jing Xiaolu shook her head, you don't understand Yang Ming. He's a person who can be persuaded, but not cowed. He's actually very kind. Kind? Lu Huamei was stunned. Sister Huamei, I can't guarantee 100%, but I can be 80% sure. If you had cried and begged him in the company just now, maybe he would have helped, even if there were no benefits that would tempt him. Jing Xiaolu shook her head and explained, there's no reason for him to help someone because he's soft-hearted. The friends around him are all like this, including me back then. Let me tell you the story between me and Yang Ming. Okay. Lu Huamei was actually a very gossipy little girl despite her strong side. Now that she had removed her disguise in front of Jing Xiaolu, there was no need for her to hide anymore. So, she revealed her true colors. Jing Xiaolu actually wanted to share her little secret with someone. There were some things that couldn't be told to Gu Xinyao, Chen Mengyan, Lin Jiyun, and the others. It was uncomfortable to keep it bottled up in her heart. It was a good opportunity to talk to Lu Huamei who had nothing to do with her. So, Jing Xiaolu talked about the first time she met Yang Ming in the cafeteria. Then, she talked about how she fell in love with Yang Ming, and how she started to change for Yang Ming. Then, she talked about how her change as a waitress moved Yang Ming and made him make a call to arrange for her to go to the current Ming Yang group. Chapter 1883. Lu Huamei couldn't help but widen her eyes as she listened to Jing Xiaolu's narration. She really didn't expect that the previous Jing Xiaolu would have such a side to her. Moreover, isn't the story between her and Yang Ming too legendary? How can Yang Ming accept such a Jing Xiaolu? Hee, isn't it strange? But that's the truth. I'm very lucky. Jing Xiaolu couldn't help but feel a little proud as she said this, the previous me was similar to you. I always always like to disguise myself. Only then can I not be bullied. Only then can I protect myself. But now, I don't need to anymore because I found a man who can protect me and solve all my problems for me. If something like you happened to me, I don't have to worry because my husband will solve it for me. Ugh. I'm sorry, Sister Huame. I'm not showing off to you. Speaking of this, Jing Xiaolu suddenly realized that she had said too much. She really wasn't showing off. She was immersed in happiness and said those words unconsciously. However, from what Lu Huame heard, she probably meant to show off. However, Lu Huame shook her head. I know. You're not showing off. I'm very envious of you. If what you said is true, and you found a good man, that's why, Sister Huame, I advise you to end your single life as soon as possible. It's good to have someone to share the burden with you. You don't have to work so hard. Jing Xiaolu nodded and felt relieved when she saw that Lu Huame understood. Hee, how can it be so easy to find one? Most of the people who chase me are either drooling over my property or my beauty. Which one of them is sincere to me? I'm afraid that they'll be the first to abandon me when there's a better one or when I have nothing, right? I know very well what those young masters who chase me are like. Lu Huame said with a bitter smile, do you think everyone is as lucky as you? There are too many people like us. Sister Huame, can you tell me about yourself too? See if I can help you. Jing Xiaolu still wanted to help Lu Huame. After all, they were all women. From a certain point of view, they were all women with tough lives. Jing Xiaolu couldn't help but feel that they were in the same boat. Help me. Forget it. It's all my fault. If I was more humble and cried, your Yang Ming might really help me out of sympathy. Lu Huame was also a little regretful that she didn't inform Jing Xiaolu beforehand and understand Yang Ming's character. Otherwise, she wouldn't have screwed things up. It's too late to say anything now. But, I need to find someone to talk to me. Until she talked about her father's murderer, Lu's murderers, Lu's, Huame's SSSS, told S's and S's, TSS, tells SSS, T's, SSS. I really want to kill them. Jing Xiaolu wasn't averse to bloody violence at all. Instead, she was very excited, then kill them. This kind of scum shouldn't be left alive. But I can't do anything. If I could die together with them, I wouldn't hesitate to. Lu Huame was a little surprised by Jing Xiaolu's support. However, she was relieved when she thought of Jing Xiaolu's past life. A delinquent's life was full of violence, but I think the one who dies in the end will be me. If they can murder my father, they can do the same to me. Xiaolu, I'm only telling you this because I treat you as my best sister. If I really have nothing this time, you won't ignore me, right? Of course not. Jing Xiaolu shook her head and sighed. She finally couldn't help but say, Sister Huame. Actually, what you said is just a small matter to me. It mainly depends on whether your husband is willing to help you or not. If he's willing to help, Lu Hua and Lu Zhenan are just clowns. Yang Ming is so powerful. Lu Huame didn't believe Jing Xiaolu's words. In her opinion, girls always like to exaggerate their men's strength. However, Lu Huame didn't think that Lu Hua and Lu Zhenan were so weak. You don't understand him, but I do, Jing Xiaolu said. Sister Huame, I've said what I should say. It's up to you whether you believe it or not. Lu Huame seriously considered Jing Xiaolu's words now. Logically speaking, Jing Xiaolu's current identity was no longer a delinquent. If it was in the past, it was possible for her to brag. However, her current identity was the chairman of the Mingyang group. How could she brag so casually? She must have something to rely on if she said so. Thinking of this, Lu Huamei seemed to have grasped the last straw. She suddenly straightened up. Xiaolu, tell me. Tell me what to do. Even if I don't want the Jiangyan group, I'm willing to pay anything as long as Lu Hua's family dies a horrible death. Even if you ask me to commit suicide in order to keep it a secret, as long as Lu Hua and Lu Zhenan die. Lu Huamei really wanted to take revenge. She wouldn't feel at ease for the rest of her life if the enemy who killed her father didn't die. Money was nothing in her eyes. Nothing could compare to family. If family was gone, then there was nothing left. This. Jing Xiaolu looked at Lu Huamei and hesitated. There was a way, but she wasn't sure if it would be effective. She wasn't sure if Lu Huamei would do it. Xiaolu, just tell me what conditions you have. Since Lu Huamei had thrown caution to the wind, she naturally didn't care about anything else. She couldn't wait to achieve her goal. Sister Huamei, what conditions can I have? Of course, I want the best for you. Jing Xiaolu smiled awkwardly. I'm just not sure if this method will work. It's fine if you want me to kneel and beg him. Whether it works or not, I have to try it. Lu Huamei said anxiously. Then. I'll say it. Jing Xiaolu's heart was slightly sour. She whispered a few words into Lu Huamei's ear. Lu Huamei's face immediately turned red after hearing it. However, she nodded after a slight hesitation. She looked at Jing Xiaolu gratefully. Xiaolu, thank you. I don't know what to say, Sister Huamei, you said it yourself. We're good friends. Jing Xiaolu sighed in her heart, but said happily on the surface, then we'll really be best friends in the future. I actually hope to be best friends with you. Lu Huamei sighed with self-pity. I don't have such high expectations. It's just an exchange. I'm afraid he won't take it seriously. Chapter 1884. You still don't understand Yangming. You will slowly understand him in the future. Jing Xiaolu said, let's go. Let's go eat something first. You will only have strength when you are full, you don't have to eat too much. Your stomach will bulge. Lu Huamei was a little worried like a little woman at this moment. Hee, I'll teach you some precautions. You're lucky tonight. It was supposed to be me. Jing Xiaolu was a little jealous when she said this. Ah. Lu Huamei was a little embarrassed and looked at Jing Xiaolu awkwardly. Then, how about, you accompany me too? Ha. It was Jing Xiaolu's turn to be surprised. Sister Huamei can't be so bold, right? She wants to have a threesome on her first time. Although Lu Huamei was inexperienced, it wasn't like she didn't understand anything. She knew that Jing Xiaolu had misunderstood when she saw Jing Xiaolu's expression. She didn't mean it that way, but it seemed to be that way when she expressed it. And it was also that way when she did it. This was really hard to explain. In fact, she really hoped that Jing Xiaolu wouldn't leave. Otherwise, she wouldn't know what to do. No, nothing. I'm just a little scared. Lu Huamei shook her head quickly. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. I'll arrange it for you when the time comes. Jing Xiaolu said, for you, I not only gave up my chance, but I was also worried about being scolded by my husband. Sister Huamei, you have to cherish it. You must let him help you. Otherwise, my sacrifice will be in vain, Lu Huamei nodded shyly. She thought, if he still doesn't help, not only will your sacrifice be in vain, but I will also sacrifice in vain. Yangming ate dinner with Bao Sanli and Ho Zhenhan. The three of them didn't have many chances to eat together. It was very rare, so they cherished each other. Brother Yang, Bao Zi, won't say anything. I only admire you in this life. Even Ho Shinhan can't do it. Bao Sanli raised the wine glass in his hand. I, Bao Sanli, will follow Brother Yang. I will always be your little brother. It's the same whether you come back this time or not. I will protect your family with all my heart. I will continue to be your little brother when we reach the underworld. Well, I am a rough person, and I don't know how to talk. I will drink this cup of wine, and everything will be understood without words. Hee hee. Yang Ming was very pleased and drank a glass of wine with Bao Sanli. As for Ho Shinhan, he was not angry after listening to Bao Sanli's words because he also had the same thoughts, so he smiled and said, Baozi, you are not convinced by me, but I am not convinced by you. I only admire Brother Yang. If it wasn't for Brother Yang saving me back then, I wouldn't have been able to treat my old mother's illness. It's hard to say if I would have gone to jail for robbery. That's right. Our fates were changed because of Brother Yang. Otherwise, they would be small fries. Maybe they would go to prison or be hunted down by their enemies. How could they be as glorious as they are now? Bao Sanli nodded. So, Brother Yang, you don't have to worry. We will guard the rear for you. You can perform the mission without any worries. Ho Shinhan said, if Bao Sanli has any disloyalty, I will definitely kill him even if I have to die. Fuck. How can you say that? You are the one who has disloyalty. I still want to kill you. Bao Sanli was unwilling. He stood up suddenly and glared at Ho Shinhan. If I dare to do something wrong to Brother Yang, I will kill myself directly. I don't need you. You still want to kill me. With your skill. Ho Shinhan also drank a little too much. He was somewhat unwilling. Okay, you too. I haven't left yet, and you are already fighting among yourselves. If I leave, will each of you take a group of people to fight? Yang Ming pretended to be angry and glared at the two of them. He slammed the table and scolded them. This. Brother Yang, we are just fooling around. I'm sorry. Bao Sanli suddenly felt embarrassed and bowed his head. Ho Shinhan was also the same. He sat down awkwardly. Okay, I know your loyalty, but loyalty is done, not said. In the future, it will depend on your performance. Yang Ming nodded and said faintly. After the two swore, Ho Shinhan suddenly asked, Brother Yang, I heard that there is a kind of voodoo that is loyal to a person. Zhang Jixin seems to have mentioned it before, right? Zhang Jixin mentioned by Ho Shinhan had been with Ho Shinhan and others recently. Because Elder Yu had gone back, Zhang Jixin was naturally useless. However, Grandma Lanling didn't ask him to go back, so he naturally stayed here to wait for orders. After chatting a lot, Ho Shinhan also knew a thing or two about voodoo. At this time, he suddenly mentioned this matter. His thoughts were self-evident. Loyal voodoo. Yang Ming was slightly stunned, but then he immediately understood Ho Shinhan's meaning. However, Yang Ming did not agree. Baozi, why aren't you talking? Are you afraid? Ho Shinhan asked with a sneer. Why wouldn't I dare? Am I not waiting for Brother Yang to speak? Bao Sanli was anxious. Aren't you looking down on me? You can do whatever you want. Brother Yang wants me to die now without blinking an eye, let alone voodoo. If I didn't have a little self-awareness, would want to accompany Brother Yang to perform the mission. Let's discuss this matter again. Yang Ming hesitated, waved his hand, and didn't immediately agree. After all, this matter wasn't Yang Ming's matter alone. If something happened to him, wouldn't he be trapped for a lifetime? There is no need to discuss. Let's go find Zhang Jixin tomorrow. Bao Sanli was afraid that Ho Shinhan would take the lead this time, so he said quickly. Then, let's talk about it tomorrow. Yang Ming nodded faintly. Let's not talk about this today. We have known each other for a long time. Let's chat and study the future direction of our company after I leave. Bao Sanli and Ho Xinhan both nodded and began to make plans. In fact, the two people had already studied the direction before. When Yang Ming wasn't there, they couldn't slack off on development. Anyway, the central idea of the two people was to assist Jing Xiaolu to do well in the Ming-Yang group. You don't have to work too hard. If I can come back, we will all withdraw and go to Island X to live in seclusion. We will let go of the business here. Yang Ming had already thought about the future retreat. We still need to make money. If we want to live in seclusion, isn't it more important to make money? Bao Sanli smiled. I still want to make more money to retire. This time, I have to work harder. The three people ate for about 2 hours, and they were very satisfied. Yang Ming's phone also rang at this time. Yang Ming glanced at the caller ID. It was Jing Xiaolu, so he said to Bao Sanli and Ho Xinhan, let's end it here today. Xiaolu called and asked me to go back. Chapter 1885. Okay, Brother Yang, you go first. Baozi and I will drink again. We don't have many chances to come out and drink. Ho Xinhan smiled and nodded. Okay, then you continue. I will go first. Yang Ming said as he got up and left the private room. Then, he picked up Jing Xiaolu's phone call. Hello, Xiaolu, where are you? Asked Yang Ming. Husband, I have finished eating. I am in Huajin Shang Hotel, room 302. Can you come and find me? Jing Xiaolu's voice came from the phone. It was a little charming and very attractive. Yang Ming was already drunk. When he heard Jing Xiaolu's voice, he couldn't help but be moved. However, he still asked with some doubts, why aren't you in your own hotel? Why are you in someone else's territory? There. Everyone knows me, the chairman. If I shout too loudly, it will have a bad influence. Jing Xiaolu said with some embarrassment, no one knows us here, so we can be more relaxed. Oh, that's fine. You wait for me. I will be there right away. Yang Ming was puzzled. The hotel shouldn't be so soundproof, right? Moreover, the new Songjiang International Hotel, which was the original Douglas Vast Hotel, was newly built. How could it not be soundproof? However, Yang Ming didn't ask much. Maybe Jing Xiaolu was afraid that others would see her, the president, in a room with him and gossip. Yang Ming could also understand. After all, Jing Xiaolu was the chairman. She had to have prestige. After leaving the nightless club, Yang Ming got in Little Wang's car and said to Little Wang, go to Huajin Shang Hotel. Okay, Brother Yang. Little Wang nodded and slowly started the car. Then, he said, Brother Yang, do you want to open the window or the air conditioner? Open the window. After Yang Ming finished drinking, he didn't want to blow on the air conditioner, so he opened the window and asked, have you eaten? Yes, I just ate a bowl of beef noodles next to it. Little Wang nodded. Brother Yang, you don't have to worry about me. I am such an adult. I can take care of myself. Yang Ming didn't say anything. Although Little Wang was his confidant, it wasn't appropriate to bring him along in such an occasion. There were not many cars at night, so they soon arrived at the Huajin Hotel. Xiao Wang parked the car in the parking lot and asked, Brother Yang, do you still need the car tonight? No need. You can go home and sleep. You can also get a room in the hotel to rest. Little Ran can come and accompany you. It will be convenient for me to use the car tomorrow morning. Yang Ming said. Okay, Brother Yang. Little Wang nodded. Then I'll live here. When Yang Ming entered the hotel, he saw Jing Xiaolu's secretary greet him. It made Yang Ming stunned. Yang Ming had seen this secretary several times in Jing Xiaolu's office. However, Jing Xiaolu called him out and even brought a secretary along. Just as he was wondering, he heard the secretary say to him, "Brother Yang, I'm Little Li. Director Jing asked me to give you the room card." With that said, Secretary Little Li respectfully handed the key to Yang Ming. "You are waiting for me here just to give me the key?" Yang Ming asked, baffled. "Yeah, that's what Director Jing told me." Secretary Li nodded. "Brother Yang, then I will go back. My task is completed." "Okay, you can go." Yang Ming nodded strangely and let Secretary Li go. Then, he turned and went to the elevator. He wondered in his heart, what kind of trick is this Jing Xiaolu playing? Why does she find a secretary to wait for me to give her the key? Could it be that she had already stripped naked and was waiting for him in the room? Yang Ming shook his head. Among his girlfriends, Jing Xiaolu was one of the bolder ones. It was possible that she had prepared some new tricks. When he arrived at the door of room 302, Yang Ming opened the door with the room card and then quickly closed the door. If he guessed correctly, Jing Xiaolu's naked body couldn't be seen by anyone outside the room. After entering the room, Yang Ming found that there was no one in the room. There was only a big empty bed. There was nothing on the bed except for the quilt. If he listened carefully, he would hear the sound of running water coming from the bathroom. Jing Xiaolu should be taking a shower. Yang Ming took off his coat and lay on the bed. He waited for Jing Xiaolu on the bed, turned on the TV casually, and watched it. In the past 2 days, most of the local economic channels were broadcasting speculation and analysis about the Liu family's future. Yang Ming thought it was a little funny. What does the future of other people's groups have to do with you people? However, he didn't know where a group of seemingly high-level experts had been invited from, and they began to comment on this matter. Some people supported Liu Hua, some supported Liu Jinan and Liu Zhiqiao. There were also people who were optimistic about the dark horse, Liu Huamei, but they were still in the minority. Yang Ming watched the TV news in boredom. He wondered if Jing Xiaolu spent so much effort today to plead for Liu Huamei. Although Yang Ming would help Liu Huamei reluctantly, he would still feel uncomfortable in his heart. The key was Liu Huamei's own attitude. Not long after, the bathroom door opened with a click. In fact, Liu Huamei had already finished showering. She didn't come out of the bathroom because she was waiting for Yang Ming. Shaoli gave Yang Ming the room card and called Jing Xiaolu according to the agreement he had with her. After Jing Xiaolu got the news, she told Liu Huamei and left Liu Huamei's room. She asked Liu Huamei to pretend that she hadn't finished showering and wait for Yang Ming to enter the room before coming out. When she left, Jing Xiaolu felt a little bitter. What's wrong with me? Yang Ming is about to leave, but I didn't cherish this opportunity to have a good time with him. I actually gave this opportunity to another woman. Am I stupid? However, Jing Xiaolu really sympathized with Liu Huamei and her experience. In Jing Xiaolu's opinion, they were actually the same kind of people. If she didn't help her, who else could? This was her last and only hope. If she could really get Yang Ming's support, then her problem would naturally be solved. However, without Yang Ming's support, she was a helpless girl. Not only was she harmed by her uncle, but her father's revenge was hopeless. Her property and shares might also be stolen. It was really too pitiful. This made Jing Xiaolu feel pity for her. Liu Huamei was a little scared in the bathroom. She had made this decision before and felt that she could definitely do it because she was willing to do anything as long as she could avenge her father. Now, it was just her body. She should be happy about this deal. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.